Thompson Kart Raceway, main event time here for the Ohio Sprint Series. 9 events coming your way. A couple of changes to the classes, beginning with 206 Sportsman. We've shortened this one just a little bit to make it easier on the young guns. 10 minutes plus 2 laps for this final, with Logan McCloskey on the front row, Addison Haydu on the outside. Let's go further back here through the lineup. You got Anthony Ciafani there on the parallel, starting to the inside of row number 2 in third. They'll round the timing loop. Turn number 1. Down the front straightaway we go. 2 by 2, 3 rows deep for the first main event of the afternoon through the box. And we're green down to turn number 2 as they rocket away through the bowl. Taylor.
Awesome racing. Great start here as we work our way through into starting this event. But there you see them going into the hairpin. Still great racing action as they kick off this 10-minute feature.
Yeah, here they go through turn number 5 for the very first time, and Logan McCloskey's Ricardo Kart leads them over to turn number 6, this different section of the racetrack from yesterday. And a 10-minute shortened main event for them means it's all up to Addison Haydu to try and make do with a couple less minutes on the clock. Let's see what Addison can do down the long straightaway. She'll pull all the way up to the rear bumper of Logan McCloskey here with 1 lap fully in the books as they head to turn number 3.
How about Addison Haydu coming in with a lot of speed here as she tries to keep up with Logan McCloskey as they head down towards the outer loop here at turn number 5. Stays right on that back bumper as they head to the second hairpin.
Yeah, she's keeping close with him here as this race is underway. And we'll watch them come on out of the corner down to put another lap completed here this time by. So, good start here to the main for 206 Sportsman as they head to turn number 2. Again, McCloskey on screen, Haydu right behind as the field works its way around the racetrack. Once again, we'll come out of 3, go to the back section of 4. And not only is it a 2-car pairing up front, it's about a 3-car pairing. 3rd, 4th, and 5th, a little bit further back as well to start this one. So there go your leaders. There's Ciafani's group kind of leading, coming out of turn 5. Little bobble for the kid in 5th. And he heads on back on out.
Ciafani tries to keep pace with them as they work their way over into turn number 2 once again. But as we watch the race leaders battling it out, here comes Addison Haydu with a big run as of turn number 3. And as they continue to work their way down over toward the outer loop, you see McCloskey trying to hold on to the race lead in that 102 Ricardo Kart. Addison Haydu, though, very impressive speed here in this opening race.
So here we go, coming on the front backstretch now here through turn number 1 and down the way we go with 2 minutes in. Plenty of time left here. Again, it's the 10 minutes plus 2 laps distance for the field. A little bit of separation starting to occur now for first and second. Anthony Ciafani over Harrison Bell there in 3rd and 4th. They're the closest grouping now, about 2/10 apart. Out in front of the 2, the white helmet and the red and white parallel in 171 is Anthony Ciafani. The 144 black and blue machine is Harrison Bell in 4th on the Nitro Kart. Logan Pollock still runs in 5th. Declan Clear is 6th. And we're approaching the halfway marker with a good little scrap for 3rd. How about some side-by-side action down to turn number 2? Almost enough to get there for Harrison Bell. Just could not fully pull alongside Anthony Ciafani. And as they exit turn number 3 and head towards turn number 5, they split back apart about 2 car lengths apiece. So here they go, coming out of 5 over to turn 6 and 7. Ciafani with Harrison Bell right behind while the leaders spread further and further away. That time by Logan McCloskey, a 33.11. Addison Haydu, a 33.47. 3/10 added to the margin. It's now 1.1 seconds from P1 to P2, while Ciafani and Harrison Bell run nose to tail for that final spot on the podium. Logan Pollock is in no man's land, as is Declan Clear, each about 5 to 6 seconds back from the race leaders.
Great racing action between Ciafani as well as also Harrison Bell as they work their way down into the second hairpin. Bell just staying close, tucked up behind that number 171 Ciafani parallel Kart as they work their way across the line. Turn 1 already staying tucked up, getting a good draft. Could try something here if he times it right into turn 2, but still just waiting for that opportune time.
Yeah, just waiting to see what he can do to maybe get a run at the right place. This was a good run there, but he gave him a little love tap coming out of turn number 4, and that pushed Ciafani back away to the outer loop again. So It's all about learning here. This racetrack is tight and narrow, and the only passes you're going to make are going to be under braking. You're not going to get anyone coming out of a corner. You're not going to get anybody with a slipstream run down a straightaway. You've got to pull alongside by taking that plunge and braking deeper than where you're comfortable to pull alongside. And oh no! The right side pod comes off of Harrison Bell's Nitro Kart out of fourth, and now that'll unfortunately trigger a meatball flag for the kid who was battling for the podium. I don't think he's noticed it yet, but you'll see when he comes by here, the pit lane area, and we get back on his right-hand side on the outside of turn number 1. Harrison Bell, no right side pod, and an early end in the works for the 144. Just unfortunate. Such a good run going. There's a look at the side pod over there in turn number 2. And again, still just riding in line right now. He'll probably get that meatball flag in a lap or 2.
Tough break there for Harrison Bell. Unfortunate. Somebody, I guess, got either kind of jiggled loose here when it's coming over some of the curbing maybe. It is a little bit of bumpy conditions on this circuit, I will have to say, here at Thompson, seeing the kids bumping around.
Yeah, I mean, there's a variety of factors. Also, normally you run the bodywork a little bit loose to allow some more flex in the metal tubing for the chassis by not having suspensions. Some go-karts, granted not the Nitro, will use springs, so the spring can pop out as well. More than likely, just a loose bolt that unfortunately worked its way loose on both entry points into the frame and slid right on out. So now, Harrison Bell, no right side pod, that takes him out of contention for the podium. It's great news for Anthony Ciafani. He's now safely in third with the way things will end up. And out front, everything's pretty spread apart as well, as there went Addison Haydu trailing Logan McCloskey. So an early end for Harrison Bell as the meatball flies. But that'll do that one. That'll at least move also up Declan Clear from 6th up to 5th. It will also promote one more in the driver in 5th, Logan Pollock, moving into 4th. So that'll spread apart, and it'll take away kind of the one battle we were looking forward to seeing here for that third and final podium spot. And again, just unfortunate for Harrison Bell. He had a great drive going, was keep in touch with Anthony Ciafani, was as fast as he was, and it's just a bittersweet end to what had been a good weekend in the works and a lot of progress for Harrison Bell.
Yeah, a tough break here indeed for Harrison Bell, as he does take it behind the wall. And unfortunately, his day is done, but for Declan Clear, he will get on the podium later this afternoon.
Well, not Declan Clear. It'll be Anthony Ciafani at the moment. Declan Clear will move up into 5th. Logan Pollock will into 4th. Oh, no, you're right. Top 5 for the podium here at the Ohio Sprint Series. My apologies, Taylor. Yeah, indeed. Top 5 podium. So, again, it moves Declan Clear into a hardware spot.
Yeah, good opportunity for Declan, and some good points for him as he now, as we pick up Addison Haydu, running some really good lap times right now. Her best time of 33.183 as we watched the field, and she was about 2/10 faster last time by than Logan Mikulski.
Yeah, that was an improvement there. As here is the 113. That's Logan Pollock going slow in front of the leaders. Here is the 2 leaders as we watch them go to turn 6 and 7. So both Logan Pollock and Declan Clear at the end of the line. And as we watch, here comes your leader, Logan McCloskey, down the front straightaway towards turn number 1. There he goes on the Ricardo kart. Here comes Addison Haydu aboard that blue and red Energy in the 17 P2 with the pink helmet. And like you said, good lap times for her. A couple mistakes early on. Beyond that, it's been pretty consistent for Addison, and times that are almost as fast lap to lap as Logan McCloskey. And that's a good takeaway if it ends as it does here this weekend, for her to be knowing she had the speed to contend for a race win, and she was close in those opening couple laps. Just little mistakes. It's a net sum. It's not just a single lap qualifying. Even then, the qualifying here being that 3-lap average really shows the benefits of consistency. It's about finding your marks on the racetrack, looking for those cracks or dirt patches or anything that'll be a stationary object that can say, I'm going to brake here, I'll turn here, I'll gas up here, get to the apex there and exit there. And that's what is the real key to hitting consistent lap times. They aren't able to memorize exactly when to brake to a point, but if they find a marker on the racetrack, it makes it a lot easier to know, okay, that's the checkpoint. This is what I need to be doing when I hit that marker anywhere on the circuit. Here's Anthony Ciafani once again on that red and white parallel, and his lap times have been relatively consistent as well. A best time of a 33.5, last time a 33.8, this time another 33.8.
Really good runs here. He's staying consistent, and that's the important thing with these sportsman class, cadet classes, is that you get the chance to learn and grow in order for you to progress your way through the rankings here in the Ohio Sprint Series and maybe one day go into some of the national series as you learn and continue your progress with karting.
So for Anthony Ciafani here, a safe third place run at the moment over Logan Pollock and Declan Clear, the final 2 spots on the box. We got 30 seconds plus 2 laps left, so final couple stages of this 206 Sportsman main with Logan McCloskey dominating the day here. And with a shorter race, I don't know if he'll end up getting all the way to the tail end of the field, which is good news for Declan Clear and Logan Pollock to get all the laps completed. Their lap times by the end of this weekend here, their best laps are within 1.5 seconds of the fastest driver in Logan McCloskey. That's good for both of them here. In fact, Logan Pollock was almost even to race leader Logan McCloskey last time by. 2 to go this time, though, for the 102. And here he is catching up to Declan Clear at the very end of the grouping in the 100 Cosmic. So he will unfortunately put Declan, I believe, 1 lap down here in just a moment. Let's see as he heads over to the outer loop.
He's going to try to see what he can do. Looks to the inside as they come off the outer loop, clears them, and will put the 100 machine of Declan Clear a lap down.
So with that, the 2 to go signal goes on out for Logan McCloskey here in the 102 Ricardo kart. He'll come onto the front straightaway, down the start-finish line straight to turn, start line straight to turn number 2 with 1.5 laps remaining. And that may be the end of it for Declan Clear. He might get caught up by Addison Haydu for the 1 more pass with the 2nd place driver, not too far back, about 3.5 seconds away from Logan McCloskey. Still, again, a respectable ending to it. But for Logan, this is, of course, saving a little bit of stamina and energy for that 2nd main he's got later on this afternoon, the Miami 60cc Mini Division. But 1 for 1, it looks like it will be here as the final lap gets underway for Logan.
He works his way around the circuit towards the back straightaway here into turn 2. Good run through, and all day, all weekend really, Logan McCluskey has been smooth and consistent all day long. No mistakes whatsoever as he sends to the outer loop for the final time in the 206 Sportsman.
Yeah, he'll go to turn 6 and 7, the 2 new corners on the day. He'll come just shy getting up to Logan Pollock. It'll make it an easy finish as Pollock actually courteously pulls out of the way, and Logan McCloskey sweeps the weekend in 206 Sportsman for the first main event of Sunday afternoon here at the Ohio Sprint Series. Addison Haydu 2nd, Anthony Ciafani 3rd, 4th will go to Logan Pollock as he went a lap down right before the line, and 5th to Declan Clear. With 1 down, we now switch our sights here to the 206 Juniors as they make their way to the grid, and 206 Senior will follow. 8 classes still to run here in the 9-class lineup for the Ohio Sprint Series. Just a quick reminder for everyone here as your main event wraps up. Don't forget to return your rental transponders. Again, a quick reminder for everyone as your main event comes to a close. Don't forget to return your rental transponders here at registration.
Yeah, Jeff, time's up to 12, please.
To the transponder table again. All transponder rentals, make sure you take those off the cart and roll over the scales to get that back to the table. Thank you. The engines have come to life now for 206 Junior, as it looks like problems maybe for one driver. That's the 812 Tony Kart, as they'll round the loop and get set to go. Logan Upton, a good day here today. It's a Logan front row as Logan Stockdale joins him on the outside. Tegan Schneider and Riley Davis will make up row number 2 as the field comes out of the final couple turns. They'll work past the timing loop and make their way towards us here by turn number 1 on that front straightaway. Logan Upton on the right in the blacked out machine. The white and orange Kart Republic and Logan Stockdale on the outside. They're green down to 1, and a great start, much better here in the main event for Tegan Schneider as they go side by side behind him. Everybody almost now 3 wide, surviving the opening couple hairpins here, and it's Logan Upton that leads out of turn number 5.
Great run right there by Upton as they make the run down to the second hairpin, but here comes Schneider to the inside. Will he complete the pass in the Cosmic Kart? He will. Upton tries to fight back, but it's not going to work as the Cosmic Kart of Schneider will take over the race lead.
12 minutes plus 2 laps to go. Keep your eye on that counter in the top left-hand corner of your screen. 6-car breakaway up front with Schneider, Upton, Stockdale, James Strapko, then Riley Davis, then Jack Haydu as Stockdale high and then back in line quickly before the 811 of James Strapko could get by. In the Tony Kart back there, 4th in line, even 7th, George Ma not far away. So, round goes Logan Stockdale off the front bumper of James Strapko, and collected is the 817 of Jack Haydu, and they are stuck together in the final corner. They're trying to get them unstuck. Logan Stockdale, hands in the air. He knows that for both of them, this is basically day over, and he'll try to get back going. He'll go all the way to the rear, half a lap back. And Logan Stockdale out of 3rd, gets turned around, and now the focus shifts to just the top 2 as it's Tegan Schneider and Logan Upton with a big gap out back. And what a wreck avoidance for Riley Davis. In that 6-car pack, he avoided the contact. So did George Ma, who goes to 4th.
Isabel Timothy, also another one who avoided it. She moves into the podium in the top 5, but I don't know how long she'll be able to stay up there with it, because here comes a hard-charging Jack Haydu as well. Got a little bit of time, so let's see if she can try to hold that position in 5th.
Yeah, let's see if she can do it here. As for Tegan Schneider, Logan Upton, she's all over Tegan's tire tracks right now, not going by, just, riding in 2nd, maybe waiting for an opportunity, waiting for a mistake. 2 minutes in, 9.5 minutes still to go, so we've got plenty of time.
A lot of time left here in the race as we pick up the field. The leaders are working their way out of turn number 2. Schneider trying to find his way around and hold on to the race lead, but Logan Upton is really putting the pressure all over Tegan as they make their way out of the outer loop, heading to the second hairpin.
Yeah, Tegan Schneider there just ahead. Logan Upton right behind, through the right-hander, over to the left, and down the back stretch for another lap completed. Tegan Schneider was one of the quickest in the pre-final, but just was kind of trapped in the pack, couldn't really get by. Now getting to the lead, not able to get away. Logan Upton definitely matching stride for stride so far here today on the 827 Praga machine as they head back towards turn number 5. So 2 drivers above the field right now. Upton even a little bit narrow out of 5, almost trying to pitch the exit to set up for an over-under in some sort. But again, that's the common mistake we're seeing a lot of drivers make this weekend in some of the younger classes, is just hurting their exit speed and taking away the chance to get by. You won't get any passes on exit. You're only really going to get them probably on entry. You can sometimes, as we've seen, get a crossover move done in that final 3-corner section, turn 6, 7, and then back to turn 1 past the timing loop, but it's tough. It's really tough to pull off, and so Logan Upton, he's going to have to get some confidence and make a deep dive down to the inside, just like Tegan Schneider did to take over the lead on lap number 1.
He's going to have to try something. He tried to show the nose as they come out of that second hairpin, not close enough to make anything work, but as they come across the start-finish line, heading up into turn 1, Upton starts to put the pressure. He looks to the inside, shows the nose, thinks better of it, tucks back in behind as they come through turn 2.
Yeah, so these 2 class of the field right now, you're updated on where everybody else lies at the moment here. We're watching, again, Tegan Schneider, Logan Upton, Riley Davis, George Ma. Ma right now is a second back from Riley Davis. A big improvement for George here this time. Isabella Timothy is 5th, and Timothy will come under pressure, I think, from Jack Haydu in a couple of laps, along with James Stropko and Logan Stockdale. They're still pretty far back after getting back going. So there you see your leaders coming by. You've got a little gap back to third and fourth as they go through turn number 2.
Heading off of turn number 2, Schneider really just trying to hit his marks. He's missing a little bit right there as you see a big run from Upton as he went a little bit wide off corner exit, though that's going to cost him a little bit of time as they head to the outer loop.
Yeah, they'll come out at turn number 5 here. Tegan Schneider, again, keep the momentum up. Here's a look at the kid in third, Riley Davis, on that purple, pink, and white Cosmic. Having a good run. Riley right now, center punched on the podium with a comfortable gap that's steadily growing just bit by bit. Out back to fourth place here in George Ma, who's having a better day again, a better afternoon for Georgie than most of this weekend. George Ma only a couple of tenths off the pace of the leaders. It's about 3 tenths off of Riley that time by. Gap is about 1.4 seconds up to the kid on your screen. So Riley Davis doing good. Here is the top 2. There's Riley coming by in third. And here it is, George Ma on the green and white number 812 Tony Kart. Again, George was a little bit frustrated, it looked like, or James Dropko was a little bit frustrated on the outlap. But for George Ma, just kind of quietly moving his way into a podium spot at the moment. That time by 32.4, Riley Davis 32.2. Lost a little bit, but still more than enough pulling away from everybody else. He should be safe and sound here in fourth. Back in fifth, though, we got a battle looming. Jack Haydu catching up to Isabella Timothy. So your leaders still no change. Here's third and fourth. Again, no change for them either as they work their way through turn 6 and 7. You got to go back a long ways until you find 5th and 6th on the racetrack. The 837 of Isabella Timothy and Jack Haydu on that red and black red speed, headed through to the final turn in turn number 1 now. For Isabella Timothy, she's going to come under pressure for that final podium spot. Jack Haydu, who was the driver that was first able to get back going from that 3-car awkward incident on the opening lap, or second lap, sorry, that took a lot of the leaders out of contention. He's at least going to get himself 1 spot higher in the points, and currently a position back on the box if he can get around Isabella here for 5th.
You're going to see Jack Haydu try to see if he can set something up here as they come out of the switchback. Big run here for Haydu. A lot more horses underneath that as they try to get themselves set up. He's got it nice and tuned even after the incident. He's got a good toe down the back straightaway heading over into turn number 2. Tries to look to the inside, not close enough as we pick up the leaders.
Yeah, so there goes 5th and 6th. Again, that's the battle brewing. Jack Haydu, Isabella Timothy. We'll pick them up here in a moment for P5 and P6. Headed back to the turn 5 hairpin. Here they come, the 837. Now, here comes the pass attempt. Haydu inside, getting clear. And so Jack Haydu up to 5th. Isabella Timothy back to 6th as the leaders still head their way back over to turn number 5 on the edge of maybe putting the driver a lap or 2 down. They're not really going to get, I think, too close as Logan Stockdale and James Tropko are matching the leaders pace-wise, which is, again, just a bit of a bummer because they were so quick, to be that quick here and to have that wreck take them out and put them half of the track behind. We could have been treated to what could have been maybe a 4-driver battle up at the front. Instead, just down to 2 here between Logan Upton and Tegan Schneider, who have pulled away from the rest of the field here with about 4 minutes and some change to go.
Looking over the times and everything, Logan Upton had a little bit of an off. He had a 32.6 compared to Tegan, who had a 32.1. So a little bit of issues right here for Logan Upton in this stage of the race. Let's see if he can be able to gather it back up to try and hunt him back down with just under 4 minutes plus 2 laps to go. Last time around, still 2 tenths off the pace.
Yeah, just a little bit back and slipping further is Logan Upton today, looking to be Tegan Schneider's day here in 206 Junior, our second of the 9 classes on the rotation. We're well into the second half of this main event here, 3.5 minutes plus 2 laps to go. All again looking good for Tegan as he heads through turns 6 and 7. Logan a little better, I think, that time coming out of the back hairpin. Might have closed up a tick. What the lap times look like, Taylor?
32.04 for Logan Upton, 32.2 for Tegan. So he picked up 0.2 of a second that time by.
That's good news again for Logan Upton. He needs to continue that pace and hope that Tegan Schneider falls off a little bit. Maybe a late race charge in the works for Logan Upton as he goes back to turn number 5. So he'll come out of the back hairpin here. Tegan Schneider continuing to roll out in front of a couple car lengths ahead.
I'll tell you one thing I'm keeping an eye on, though, as we go a little further back. James Stropka and Logan Stockdale, they are really making some headway and closing in on Isabella Timothy and Jack Haydu. It is just now under maybe a couple of seconds between those two catching up to 6th and 5th.
Yeah, those two, again, they're about 20 seconds back from the leading duo, but they were part of the leading duo early, and so they're kind of on a comeback drive. Here come your leaders coming out of turn number 5, Tegan Schneider and Logan Upton. You can see Riley Davis there back of the frame as Upton's closing up for the race lead. Will be a couple laps away before he gets there at this rate. And there is on screen, that's the battle right there, 5th and 6th. Logan Stockdale, James Stropko closing in together on Isabella Timothy. So this is 6th, 7th, and 8th as Stockdale a little bit too deep there. Kind of got halfway sideways off the rear bumper of James Stropko.
And that's enough with their momentum to try and hunt down Isabel Timothy as they come across the line here, heading off into turn number 2. But they will get back together and try again here momentarily.
Yeah, just got to keep on working forward, and even then a track, a little bit wide there for Stockdale. You can see how much he's pushing to follow James Stropko up and at least get one more spot on the day to get around Isabella Timothy. She's holding strong here, just needs to hang on and run the clock out, but may have a little bit too much time left on that clock. 1.5 minutes plus 2 laps to go. James Stropko pulls within a car length down the front straightaway here to turn number 1.
Ooh, how about the battle for the race lead, though? That's heating back up, though, as here they come across the line. Logan Upton is working their way through as we watch. Here's the pass for 6th position. The 811 try to look around the outside, could not make it work.
Yeah, not able to do it there. James Stropko, Logan Stockdale, Isabella Timothy, 6th, 7th, 8th. That's the best battle we got on the racetrack. Like Taylor said, we'll get to the leaders here in a moment. They're almost to turn number 5, but for that group, it looks like side by side. Timothy went wide, Stropko through, Stockdale through. So those two have gotten through for 6th and 7th. Isabella Timothy back to 8th. And now, with 40 seconds to go, the fight for the lead heating up. Logan Upton versus Tegan Schneider. He just got around Tegan, coming onto the front straightaway. So Upton had to claw his way back forward, and now Logan Upton leads. Tegan Schneider back on the offense, as with 30 seconds plus 2 laps to go, it's crunch time here in Thompson.
Looking at 3 laps left to go here as they work their way down to the short chute over to the second hairpin. Here comes Tegan looking to the inside, not able to make it work this time as they come over to the switchback.
Yeah, he got really close. It was a late move, a late decision from Tegan Schneider to try and get there. Now he's going to look again down the back straightaway. They'll pound the limiter to turn 2. Back to the lead for Tegan Schneider. What a battle for the lead in the win. This time by 2 laps to go for Tegan Schneider and Logan Upton as they head to the outer loop.
Here comes Logan Upton. Will he try again as they come to the second short chute here, approaching that second hairpin? He'll try to go the long way around, set it up, try and dime in the corner a little bit, not able to get to the inside of him.
Tegan Schneider doing a good job kind of keeping him at bay. Logan Upton just trying to, again, make one more run. He's got a big run down the backstretch. Schneider's going to block low into turn number 2. Logan follows over to turn 3. Opening there, not enough. Just kind of rides the bumper. And again, this Logan just pinched the exit there. That'll give a car length gap to Tegan as they go back to turn number 5. This time by the white flag a wave. Time running out for Logan Upton. He led a good punch a portion of this race. Tegan Schneider trying to keep him at bay through the final 2 turns.
He's got one more chance. White flag in the air as they come across the line. Logan Upton really trying to hit those curves to make sure he can get a good run as we see Schneider throwing the block, trying to be defensive going into 2.
Yeah, he can just low line it all the way to the end, and he should be good here. Logan Upton following him. Tegan Schneider on the bottom side. He's just got 2 major passing zones to defend from. First one coming up right here in the outer loop. Schneider low, Upton high. Crossover. Oh! He's on top of him. Oh no, and he goes up and over. Here comes Riley Davis. Riley Davis going through to the lead, and Riley Davis will come across the line to win in 206 Junior. Riley Davis avoids the carnage as they're going to check out the driver. Logan Upton's up and okay. He was just trying to get around Tegan and kind of got caught at an awkward point. They're going to red flag it here and stop them all to check out the drivers. Our first red flag on the weekend. Logan Upton is all right. Tegan Schneider is okay. There's the marshals checking him out. Series owner Chris McCrone. Tegan Schneider was just a couple turns away from getting the win. Just unfortunate. Hard racing all the way to the end, and it was just a weird deal as Logan Upton set up for the crossover, and they came together coming out. So everyone just checking out, everyone making sure they're up and okay. Logan Upton is up and okay. That's good to hear. Quick little check for him as he went up and onto his back with the kart coming up and over. So crazy finish. Riley Davis, congratulations on the main event win here in 206 Junior. But again, the focus to make sure Logan Upton is all right, and then we'll come back with more.
Yep.
Hey, can I catch Riley being a sportsman?
Yeah.
Thank you.
I was prepping to grab him at the checkered flag. Really? They've been tight. Tight, yeah. So is 866 the winner? Is that Riley? Okay.
Nice job, Riley.
Okay. Well, congratulations. You know what they say, that's racing. You go with the elements of the day and you won. Congratulations.
Yes, come bring them back.
Thankfully, no one got hurt. Anything can happen when you're racing.
Tony, wait till I tell you to send them. Wait until I tell you to send them. Okay, send them into the race field. It's this section down. The last fully complete lap scored shall be the lineup for the restart. The lineup shoulder shall be. I gotta get Chase. Can you walk over there and ask Doug Marsh for oil dry?
call Doug Marsh. Oil drive. That's what I was calling you about too. Thank you.
So it's a complete race. We know it's a complete race. The question is where. Over here, it goes back to the previous line. But that's for a restart. So
I would say previous lap, even though the leader's close to rest.
yeah, but it wouldn't really.
Hey, I'm gonna pull my camera around and focus on this puddle of oil down here.
Jeff, you there?
Shoot.
Jeff Faber, you copy? When Doug Marsh comes out with oil dry, please let him know I need to talk to Nick. I want to know what they do here. It's happened here before too. So the question I have is the actual rule is when was the red flag thrown? If it was not thrown, check, I know that. If he didn't throw it prior to there, it's a finished race. So then it's a moot point. Then it just comes with a lining order. Because
Well,
they got the check.
That was the checkered lap. This was the checkered lap. They were driving through the checkered.
Yes.
And he
so
made a move, and then when it was back.
here, but second, third, crossed the line before the red flag was thrown. You called it. They were coming over the last
He
turn.
said they did not. Right.
Kevin, are you there? Did they cross the start-finish line prior to Chase throwing the red flag in the second last turn? I understand that, but my point is that when Nick called red, if the drivers did not see, if the red was not thrown on track surface and they crossed the start-finish line at that point in time, it's a completed race.
It's complete race.
I know that, but it's not reverted that way. What was that, Chase? Copy. And Kevin, you are correct. It's the two that caused the accident go to the back of the field. And we just got to figure out who was the last two. And what is that? Logan would be ahead of Tegan? Copy. Yeah. You need to respond and acknowledge that's the finish of the race.
Okay, that's the finishing order of the race.
I have a broom in my tent that we need.
There's one behind the door of the concession stand. I'll call Doug.
There's also one behind the door of the concession stand. Are you, yeah, that's, I know that's the rule in Scusa too. Is
Can
that
you grab
when
the broom
when
that
the
is
red
behind the
is
door
thrown,
in the concession
it's
stand?
the point at which the red
The
is
push
seen
broom.
on track, not when it's called.
Right.
And Chase did not throw what he said.
No. And he had the red out.
But they already passed. They would not. They would have been racing to the finish.
Oh, I see, right.
That's the point. That's fair. That's the right rule.
Are you good? Yeah. Okay.
Woo.
That's the main thing.
Yeah, right.
All right. I only cried a little. seen me watching the Indy 500. It was a mess. I say you should have watched me watching the Indy 500. I was a mess.
How far is this put?
Oh.
All right, so with that, the Junior 206 mains all wrapped up. Riley Davis is your winner. George Moss second. Jack Hadu rebounds all the way to third. James Stropko fourth. Logan Stockdale fifth. Isabella Timothy sixth. Tegan Schneider in seventh. Logan Upton ends in eighth. And a wild final lap. 206 seniors up next as we continue with track cleanup here from that last incident. Two races are complete, but we've got 7 more still to go.
So you guys need water? I've got some over here. Okay, well, let me know if you need any more. I know, the guys put this here for me. It's nice.
Here, Nick, let me film this. Thanks. being a door.
You know what?
Being a door.
Being a door.
Yeah.
Oh.
Not a window.
Cut it out altogether.
The engines have come to life. It's time to bring the rumble for the 206 seniors. A little bit of track cleanup put us a little bit behind. We'll make the adjustments, get ourselves quickly and promptly back on schedule. For this one, it was a good battle in the pre-final. Henry Wheeler, Harbier Doss, and Matt Darlison, all three going at it. Dylan White was close, and we had a little bit of chaos on the opening lap that took out a few, including the driver on the screen right there, Jerry Fandry Jr., who will start tail end Charlie on the field. We're going to start to rack them and pack them here through turn 6 and 7 as they slowly begin to form on up. So a little bit of sportsmanship between Henry Wheeler and Harbier Doss saying, hey, good luck. Let's have a good main event. Let's keep it nice and fun. Boys and girls, it's 12 minutes on the clock plus 2 laps for the biggest division here this weekend at the Ohio Sprint Series, the 206 seniors. They'll slowly crawl into those tram lines once again as we approach the start box. What kind of a jump do we get? Green flag in the air, we're racing, and Henry Wheeler will nose ahead down at turn number 2, side by side from second on back as they go to 3.
Great race, great opening start here for Henry Wheeler as they work their way out of turn number 3. Oh, trouble, one cart around, and that's going to be a tough break.
Darlison is out over in turn number 4. It collected one more as well. And so now Dylan White to second, Harbier Doss to third, and oh, I just hate it for Matthew Darlison. I believe Ben Smith was the other driver collected. It spread out the field. It's a 4-driver spread up front and a big gaggle of cars back for 5th onwards.
It's going to be a crazy race here amongst a little further back in that hornet's nest, but your top 3 starting to pull away from the rest of the field. It's Wheeler, White, and Doss as they head off into the outer loop.
Yeah, so here's a good wide shot looking at them as they come out at turn 5 and head for 6. Henry Wheeler on that Steel Motorsports Charles Leclerc kart leading the way, trying to pull off a sweep of race sessions here today. Pre-final win, looking for another main event win here to close out and go 2 for 2 in 206 senior and try to do the same in Rotax Max senior as well. He leads him over to turn 3 ahead of that Comet Eagle of Dylan White, the MPG or the Rocketech Motorsports Kart Republic blue and white machine of Harbier Doss. So here come your leaders once again out of turn number 5. And we'll give you the lineup further on down the order as it's changed up quite a bit. You've got the 948 Keegan Widmeyer behind Carson Smith. Smith into 4th. Widmeyer here is 5th. Back you've got Glenn Hobbs, Everett Hunter, Cody Lindstrom, Jerry Fandry Jr., and Aiden Chappell. The drivers again collected Matthew Darlison, Ben Smith, Taran Demal Charuvu currently runs in the 11th spot, about a second back from this middle pack group, but they're starting to spread apart just a little bit after being pretty tightly packed early on.
Yeah, it's now starting to get themselves settled into a rhythm, get themselves going here for a good run. 10 minutes plus 2 laps, so we're going to see what happens.
Yeah, through turn 6 and 7 we go. Let's look at laps here. I think Keegan Widmeyer is picking up some speed. That time was really good, 31.9, 3/10 better than Carson Smith for 4th. So 5th closing up to 4th right now as they head out of turn number 2 over to turn number 3. The top 3 still spread apart. Dylan White actually closed up a little bit to Henry Wheeler over the last couple laps, but Harbier Doss has fallen backwards. This is again 5th place there, the 948 of Keegan Widmeyer closing in on the 944 machine of Carson Smith for position number 4.
And looking through, Keegan Widmeyer once again still a little bit faster than Carson Smith, so he could close the gap. He's 4/10 of a second back from him, so we're going to see if he can make a big run up for a chance outside the further of the podium position as they make the run out of turn number 3. Right there behind him is Glenn Hobbs, who had a good run yesterday as well in the 206 seniors.
Yeah, Glenn Hobbs had a really solid day, and he's just riding the coattails of Keegan Widmeyer. In fact, he might be close enough to challenge Widmeyer for that 5th position here in a few moments. So good little fight forming, just about a third of the way, or a quarter of the way into the main. 3.5 minutes in, 8.5 plus 2 laps to go as they go through turn number 2. There you see, big run there for Hobbs. He'll look to the inside, just wasn't close enough to get around Keegan Whitmire for the top 5. And Keegan says, don't forget here, we've got to go forward. We've got Carson Smith in our sights up the road there in 4th.
Yeah, it's a smart move. Sometimes, especially in this situation, it's best to try to close the gap a little bit on some of your competitors before you want to start battling, especially if you feel like you have a fast enough kart. So they're going to try to work together a little bit and see if they can close the gap. If they even just stay single file for a few months, they could have a chance to hunt down your top 3.
Yeah, it'd be tough. I mean, the top 3 would need to battle quite a bit, to be fair, to run them down. The gap is pretty substantial already. Harbier Doss kind of right now in no man's land in 3rd while we've been focusing further back. He's drifted away from Henry Wheeler and Dylan White. Those two about 4/10 apart. A second back to Harbier, and then 3 seconds back from Harbier Doss to Carson Smith and Keegan Whitmire on your screen for 4th and 5th. So there's your top 3. There's the gap all the way back to the midfield fighting through. Jerry Fandry Jr. on the move. He got around Cody Lindstrom a moment ago. He's up to 8th, tracking down Everett Hunter for that 7th position. So 5th all the way back to 9th right now or 4th all the way back to 9th on screen as Carson Smith now has a half car back to Keegan Whitmire. He's there coming out of turn number 5.
He is getting a good run out of turn 5 as they make the run to 6 and 7. He stays close and tucked up behind the 944 of Carson Smith as they come out of the switchbacks across the start-finish line. And he's going to stay tucked up behind. Meanwhile, a little further back, you see the 917 of Everett Hunter and Jerry Fandry Jr. having a good spirited battle for that 7th spot.
Yeah, Fandry Jr. closing up there at the back of the screen as we watch 4th and 5th. Oh, that's a nice diver. Jerry Fandry Jr. getting through for 7th on Everett Hunter. Move him up another spot from tail end of the field in 13th to 7th and climbing for the blue and white AEM Karting EOS kart. And you can see him in the distance as, Whitmire got into the back of Carson Smith, and Glenn Hobbs gets around him. So Glenn Hobbs onto the box now in 5th. Whitmire back to 6th. It backs them both up closer towards Fandry Jr. and Everett Hunter.
Yeah, now this is going to be a 4-horse race for that final step of the podium here for your top 5 as they come out of turn number 3. Hobbs gets the grass a little bit off corner exit. Here comes Whitmire down to the inside and can't do it as Hobbs shuts the door on him.
That'll give Fandry the opportunity in turn 6. He looks low, sends it in. Little bit deep there, but he should be all right as he gets clear coming out. Fandry Jr. up another one. He's to 6th on the racetrack. Is Jerry Fandry Jr. Glenn Hobbs now the next one to try and get himself onto the podium as Fandry rolls through turn number 2. A little bit of a bigger gap now up to the all-white 985 at Glenn Hobbs. They exit turn number 3.
Give a little bit of a hop right there as he tries to get a run here, and here comes Whitmire. He looks to the inside, but you see Fandry throw the block.
Yeah, defended there late to kind of keep the spot. He's checking back over to 6, trying to hang on. He slides it sideways through the 6 and 7 complex. So Jerry Fandry, P6, hanging on to it as hard as he can right now. The leaders still no changes up front. Henry Wheeler has pulled over a second away in that Steel Motorsports Charles Leclerc kart. Dylan White still about 2 seconds on his own back to Harbier Doss. So the top 3 all but locked in. Look at this further back there. That is Cody Lindstrom trying to go at it right now with Everett Hunter in the 917 behind Fandry Jr. and Whitmire as they work forward towards Glenn Hobbs.
Yeah, they had a good spirited battle right there. The Tony Kart of Lindstrom trying to find his way around Everett Hunter, but can't find the opening just yet as they continue to pull down back straightaway. Those 3 carts lined up nose to tail as we watch that 48 machine of Whitmire trying to get back around.
Look at Matt Darlison. He's working Cody Lindstrom. He'll get by. Matthew Darlison from in the grass and spun out on lap number 1. Now is into the top 10 and a spot higher in 9th as looking to the inside further back. That looked to be that might have been up in front of them there going forward. But Matthew Darlison, the charge forward isn't over. He's got 8th up the road, and then not far from them is Whitmire and Fandry Jr. here as the field heads on through.
Certainly is. We're watching the battle for position here as they work out of the hairpin. Fandry Jr. just getting a little bit of better pace for the moment.
Look at Darlison side by side. That's with Hunter. Matthew Darlison, Everett Hunter going at it. Not able to get the job done in turn 3. Hunter held the outside, pinned him low. Darlison now big run. Turn 6, sends it side by side. Darlison to the edge. Almost clear, not clear. And Cody Lindstrom just following there. And no, he pops wheels with Darlison. All the while, no net change, and they lost a ton of time.
Tough break right there for Lindstrom as he was up on 2 wheels, gathers it back up, and will continue pedaling that kart around the circuit into Tony.
Yeah, so let's see if Darlison can finally get around Everett Hunter. Another big run, turn 5, looking to go deep on the brakes. He sends it deep enough this time. That'll be easy and done. Clear. Matt Darlison, P8 for the 963 on this comeback tear through the field.
How about also the driver of Cody Lindstrom trying to get back around and see if he can have another shot at him as they come out of turn 1. Not able to make it work. He'll stay tucked up. Now look to the inside of Everett Hunter as they come into turn 2, but couldn't make it work.
Yeah, so let's see as Lindstrom gets to the bumper of Hunter. Darlison back there. This is some good midfield battles. How about up in front of them? Jerry Fandry Jr., Glenn Hobbs, and then Keegan Whitmire, and they've caught back up to Carson Smith, who had got away earlier, and they'll head through 7. There's everybody coming on through. 2 packs of 4. Oh, Fandry slow onto the front straightaway. Look at this. Keegan Whitmire looking low. Fandry on the high side, turn 2. Side by side, Jerry trying to hang on, sends it in 3. He'll keep the position forward now as he points forward, says keep going forward, don't worry about trying to get by me. Keegan Whitmire going to acknowledge for the moment he'll stay in line through turn 5. As up the road, Glenn Hobbs continues to inch towards Carson Smith.
Yeah, that's sometimes a difficult situation, whether you want to battle to take the position or work with the driver who made the mistake to go and catch the other drivers ahead. I mean, what would be your game plan on this situation, Xander?
Well, honestly, I don't know how fast Jerry Fandry is. Again, the way he got around Keegan Whitmire was off a mistake, so there's not a guarantee that you're better to follow him. Keegan might be a little bit faster, and if he's faster, he should go. But Jerry Fandry right now, it's hard to convince him to follow anyone. He's just trying to go as high as he can, and he knows he's close enough to get to Glenn. I think they're both a little quicker than Glenn Hobbs. I'd have to get around him, but for the moment, you got to appease him, and that's what he's doing. He's following. As we look back here, Darlison left this group in the dust. Everett Hunter, Cody Lindstrom, all back there, edge of the top 10, along with Ben Smith, who's gotten in the mix there. Smith also, like Darlison, got collected on lap number 1, so he's into the top 10. Lindstrom back to 11. Ben Smith trying to get to Everett Hunter. Side by side, not clear yet. Lindstrom now going to go back on him over to 5. Not enough run.
Nope, not enough indeed. You have to try it again as they work their way through. There you see the 63 of Darlison coming through the switchback all by himself. No pressure whatsoever behind him as he tries to hunt down the drivers up ahead.
Here's a look at 4th and 5th. Carson Smith has picked the pace back up. He's pulled away from Glenn Hobbs for position number 4. This is, again, Ben Smith. He did get around Everett Hunter, so Ben Smith able to get it done. Cody Lindstrom still looking on there behind. Everett Hunter in the middle of a pair of Tony karts as Lindstrom gets to his rear bumper headed into turn number 5. Here's a look from 4th on back all the way through. Then there's that group of 3 for 9th, 10th, and 11th. Aiden Chappell is 12th. Taran Demalcharuvu is 13th. So with 40 seconds plus 2 laps to go, Matt Darlison closing in. This is behind Jerry Fandry. This is on Keegan Whitmire for that 6th spot. That could be a position change, I think. Position number 6, middle of the 2nd pack, while the top 3 are still long gone. Out in front, Henry Wheeler over Dylan White, Harbier Doss. Here it is, Darlison inside and clear. That was cut and dry, nice and easy for Darlison. P6 or P7 for Matthew Darlison, and he now looks towards Jerry Fandry Jr. with 10 seconds plus 2 laps to go.
Yeah, he's at least 4 tenths faster than Jerry Fandry Jr. and multiple tenths ahead of Glenn Hobbs and Carson Smith, but he doesn't have enough time because he's coming to 2 to go next time by.
It's going to be tight. We'll see if any of them get together. They're all spread apart. All the while, your leader is still long gone right now. The 944, that is Carson Smith. Then the all-white car, that's Glenn Hobbs. Then you've got Jerry Fandry Jr., then Matthew Darlison, who is trying to just get himself back into the podium. Here with 2 to go now. 2 laps remaining. He's got to run on Fandry. Big run. Front straightaway. Looks low. He's there. Side by side and clear. Matthew Darlison is through to 6th.
Great drive right there by Darlison as he is trying to recover from it as he moves to P6. 1 lap to go.
Henry Wheeler's done a fantastic job all day long on that Steel Motorsports Charles Leclerc kart. And he has just pulled away from this top starting spot. An easy run off the green. And as he heads to the outer loop for the final time, it'll be main event win number 2 in a row for 206 Senior, the championship points lead. A sweep, a dominant day for Henry Wheeler as he heads to the final turn. He'll come out of it and take the checkered flag on the Steel Motorsports CL number 918, Henry Wheeler, your winner in 206 Senior. Back from him, Then it's Dylan White, then Harvey or Doss, second and third. Where's that battle for fourth and fifth? Not sure how that'll end up as they cross the line. Carson Smith, Glenn Hobbs. Did Matt Darlison get up to them at the end?
I think, yes, he got into at least fifth position.
Matt Darlison getting around Glenn Hobbs there on that final lap. So Matt Darlison claws his way from in the grass to on the box, getting by Glenn Hobbs at the very end of the main event. Hobbs 6th, Fandreach 7th, Carson Smith 4th, Keegan Whitmire, Ben Smith, Everett Hunter, your top 10 over Cody Lindstrom, Aiden Chappell, and Taran Demalcharuvu, the 13 driver, 206 senior field. Next up, it's the Tillotson 225 senior head-to-head duel for Chase Buscalia and Ian Quinn.
Track is there.
T225 RS senior onto the racetrack. This will be a little bit shortened again due to the smaller field, and thanks to the driver's courtesy there, is Ian Quinn and Chase Buscalia will get set to battle it out on an 8-minute main event instead of the usual 12 plus 2 laps. So we'll wait for Chase to let the field form on up as he parades them towards the final turn, and Ian Quinn, after winning that battle in the pre-final, will try to do it again for the overall here. Again, both in 2 different scored divisions. Chase Buscalia, a Tillotson Junior. Ian Quinn, a Tillotson Senior. On your front row as we'll come around to start the main event in T225 RS Junior, Senior, and Masters Group. This is Group 4 on the day. We've still got 5 classes to come for those watching along and for those here in the paddock. Of course, next up will be 206 Masters. As we go green, down to turn number 2, and into the corner, Buscalia moving Ian Quinn up the racetrack just a little bit off the start. He'll take over the lead at turn 3.
He will hold on to the race lead as Ian Quinn does again try to get back on the back bumper of Buscalia as they make the run over to the outer loop. And they will continue on with the fun that we've seen between these 2 drivers all weekend long. Side by side, a little bit of a lockup slide into the corner, but Buscalia will hold on to the lead.
Ian Quinn just setting him up here. Buscalia stayed narrow coming through that final sector to kind of prevent the over-under. As we go down to turn number 1, Ian Quinn right behind, and again, Welberg right behind in 3rd overall, 2nd in class for Aaron on the Tillotson Senior. So as they head down the back, here comes Quinn looking to the inside, and with a nice crossover, he gets through on Chase Buscalia on lap number 2, and he goes defensive down to the inside. Buscalia trying to get there, moves him up the racetrack a little bit. Now for a crossover, coming to the line, he'll retake the overall lead as they go down the back straightaway.
Heading down the back straightaway, Buscalia will go down to the bottom of the racetrack to be defensive, but Ian Quinn will try to do the diamond in the corner, cross him over, couldn't do it as they headed into 3.
So through turn number 3, over down the back again, Chase Buscalia will lock it up on the inside, and the dance continues for these 2. A blast all weekend here, having some fun in the Tillotson T4 senior class aboard those chassis, and as they battle it out again, this time a really good block from Buscalia on that preventing the over-under maneuver from Ian Quinn. Now down to turn number 2, Quinn stays locked on the rear bumper there, couldn't get a move by. Buscalia stays just narrow through 3, and they'll go single file. He will ride for a little bit. Will we keep on the blocking and passing? Let's see. I think we're going to stay single file for a moment at least here, and that's something to say for this T225 RS Senior Division.
They are putting on a stellar show here. Great heads-up racing. We're going to see what they can do as they come across the line here. 31-3, a 31-2 for both of them as we work their way down the back straightaway. Quinn to the inside as they head into 2.
Yeah, no, didn't block for a little bit. Quinn followed. Now he goes ahead of Buscalia, and he'll lead them coming out of turn number 3. And as we go down the back, I'm curious if Buscaglia is going to wait. No, he'll go right back in. Nice dive, late on the brakes, gets through, clears himself from Ian Quinn. Quinn doesn't have the momentum to kind of do the same back into the back hairpin. I think they're going to try and maybe save a little bit of moves for themselves till the end of the race here, because if they block and defend too much, it gives the driver behind a lot of practice to work on. And as there's more waving going on between the two of them, I think Chase was like, hey buddy, how you doing behind me? And Ian, oh yeah, I'm doing all right, nice to see you too. So they're having something different every lap. Keeps everybody on their toes and making the most of a two-entry race here at the track. Again, 3 in total on the circuit with Aaron Melberg. He's just a little bit newer to the circuit, so he's a little bit off the pace. These two national level drivers having fun, battling it out, getting some extra practice of racecraft between the pair. And that time was Ian Quinn going through into turn number 6 on Buscaglia. He now leads the way through turn 2 as we approach the halfway marker.
Ian Quinn, ooh, big send by Chase Buscaglia. Was able to not get into much into the back bumper of Ian, but a great race between them as they head off into the outer loop and now to the inside, side by side. Battle for the race lead. Buscaglia on the outside, crosses over to the inside, pushes Ian Quinn up the track.
Yeah, that was late there. Kind of got into his side pod a little bit, marking up those bright blue and white Tillotson T4 chassis graphics, but having some fun at the same time. So Buscaglia now with the lead there. Some late aggressive moves on the brakes to get position. He defends just a tick there into turn 3. Quinn goes wide, keeps momentum up. Here he comes, bumper, not gonna go in 5, maybe in turn number 6 this time.
Here's a good opportunity as they work their way down into turn 6. Ian Quinn sends it out wide, tries to build some momentum, not close enough. Heading over into the switchback, he gets not anywhere near where he thought he was being as they come out of turn 1.
Yeah, that was a good bit there for Chase Buscaglia, and a good bit of notes for Ian Quinn as they set up for their last lap battle to the line, knowing that he may not be able to pull another crossover on him like he did in the pre-final. Down the back here, Quinn pushes him into turn 5, and Buscaglia is just going to run the normal line as they exit the hairpin, and it'll put another lap in. Buscaglia now, he's tired of that. He wants them to race him, so he defends low. Quinn says, all right, let me look for the crossover. Nope. Parked on the apex at turn 7, ran into the back bumper, couldn't get him that time. Here we go back to turn 2.
Making the run out of turn number 2 is Buscaglia, still holding strong over Quinn. Quinn thinks about going around the outside, thinks better of it, will then try to get the toe he needs down the short chute over to the outer loop. Not going to be able to make anything work this time.
Yeah, through turn number 5, side by side, Ian Quinn, Chase Buscaglia again. Sets up, again, perfectly done by Chase to keep him from being able to get a nose back underneath to go into turn number 1. Now down the front backstretch, all the way low for Buscaglia. Keeps the kart planted against that white line here in the hairpins as we get to the final couple laps. Now Ian Quinn's gonna need to get creative to get by him. That's a good move, crossover out of 4, and he's there. Nothing Chase can do. Quinn gets by, and so Ian Quinn to the lead, coming to the 2-minute signal here. 2 minutes and 2 laps to go. Past the majority of this race, it's getting near the end, and we're seeing them play a little bit tougher with each other. Not necessarily more physical, but definitely a little more planned out and proper defensive moves, as Quinn now with the biggest lead they've had all weekend. 2 car lengths coming out of turn number 3.
And that's saying something, Xander. 2 kart lengths, the biggest lead that these two have had all season day long and all weekend long as they come up to the back bumper of Andy Melberg, who will give way, and they will put him 1 lap down.
Well, and again, part of that, again, you know, when Ian Quinn or Chase Buscaglia were getting ahead of each other, they were kind of dragging the brake or purposely defending when they didn't need to bring the other guy in so they could keep the race fun. But I don't know if that's going to go all the way to the end of this final. They said they would. There's a gentleman's agreement to wait up on the other guy to keep battling. And now Buscaglia let him, once Ian let him get close enough, sent it there from a car length away. That took a lot of trust to make that move stick, but he got it. And so he'll take over the spot as they go to turn 5.
Here they go into 5. Ian Quinn locks it up a little bit, tries to cross him over a little. As they come out, they'll go side by side into 1, give the lead back to Quinn.
Yeah, down the backstretch for Ian Quinn, back to another 2 car length gap with a minute plus 2 laps to go. Over to turn 3, 1 car gap through 3 here. They'll come out, go down the back over to turn number 5. Buscaglia 2 back, headed to the back hairpin, and Quinn opens up, but again, Chase Buscaglia will be able to just follow in the tire tracks, and once Ian does a kind of almost a complimentary defensive move or drags the brake a little bit, Chase will get back up to him. A car length separating, a car length and a half out of 1. 30 seconds plus 2 to go.
30 seconds, here they come down over into turn number 2, and Ian Quinn starting to pull away, stretch that lead out quite a bit as they come out of the first hairpin of turn number 3, making the run over towards the outer loop, and he is starting to really stretch it out compared to what we've seen.
Yeah, he is. I mean, this is the biggest lead. Ian Quinn might be just saying, you know what, I just want to pull away. I don't want to have a battle for the win again because I don't know if I'm going to beat him on another crossover. It'll be 2 to go next time by, so let's see as they head down to turn number 2. Chase Buscalia is going to have to go faster than he's gone all race. They're setting personal best right now, and Ian Quinn is just inching that lead out. Coming out of turn 3, Chase Buscalia. He's got to find something more. He's got to dig deep, learn a little bit maybe from following him all these laps now at a normal racing line, and maybe go deeper somewhere, pick up the throttle earlier in some other place to catch back up, because Ian Quinn's lead continues to grow now as 2 laps to go come out.
2 more times around the circuit here for these 2 drivers who have put on a stellar show all weekend long. But Ian Quinn's like, it's time to put the fun away and kind of show you how it's done. Buscalia trying to keep pace, but I think it's too little too late. Ian Quinn has stretched it out to the biggest lead in this class all weekend long.
Yeah, big lead for Ian Quinn. As he rounds turn 5, he'll come to the white flag this time by. It'll put the day in the books for the Tillotson T4 seniors. Aaron Melberg continues to run some laps there in 3rd overall and 2nd in the division. And while it's been fun to watch the 2 overall leaders beat and bang off each other, Ian Quinn decided he wanted a little more of a tame ending to Sunday. So the McCrone Motorsports Tillotson T4 chassis driver competing later today, later today in the Rotax 125 Max class. He wanted a little bit more. He gives us a nice little slide into 6. He'll bring it across the line to the checkered flag. Ian Quinn wins in Tillotson Senior. Chase Buscalia, your junior winner, in 2nd overall. Aaron Melberg will finish in 3rd here in Thompson.
Track is clear. Stop 12 minutes. Stop 12 minutes. We're going 10 minutes.
Say again?
Thank you.
So let's get set to go after it for 2:06 Masters. 10 minutes will be the distance for this one. Not as short as Tillotson, little bit longer than them, but a little bit shorter than the original 12 minutes plus 2 laps time. Kudos to the drivers for agreeing to the slightly shortened distance. They want to get in, get a good show, and get to the checkered flag. And we're going to see Michael Davis lead them to green there to turn number 1, and he will bring, I believe, Kent McCloskey on through and move Brandon Bell back to 3rd. 2 of them in identical go-karts, and indeed it's the 602 of Kent McCloskey into 2nd as they head to the outer loop for the very first time.
Great run right there by Michael Davis to get the race lead away as they come into the hairpin. McCloskey tries to send it in, but can't quite make it stick. A little bit of a pass for fourth coming into play here between the drivers of Eric Bond and Jim Johns as they come across the line.
Yeah, that was a great crossover move all the way down the front stretch, battling back for P4. Still side by side through turn number 2, back behind the leading trio. So they're having a good little fight, and ultimately that spot might go the way of Eric Bond. Indeed it does. Jim Johns back behind. Now he'll look to the inside. Not enough. Meanwhile, Michael Davis leading the way. Riley Davis already got himself a win today. Now Dad's got to go out and get it done. So Michael Davis on the 699. And the black and white colored machine leads the top 3. Pulls about a car length to 2 car lengths over Kent McCloskey and Brandon Bell through turn number 2.
Great run right there by those 3 drivers as they send it off into turn number 3. McCloskey holding strong as Brandon Bell puts a little pressure on. He's about a car length back as we see Michael Davis beginning to try to stretch out that gap.
Yeah, he's trying to. He did get a little bit further away last time. Let's see what this time does. I think it's going to be about even. Stays the same. No big changes up front. Identical laps for the top 3. Second place, a great launch out of the corner, though, for McCloskey. He pulled away from Brandon Bell, pulled just a tick closer to Michael Davis through turn number 3. So great exit out of turn 7 and turn 1 that time. That run onto that long backstretch starts all the way with the turn 6 complex. How you set yourself up for this section they're coming into right here leads a good portion of the lap speed-wise. He got a great run there out of 5. Now he needs a good exit out of here. Decent one. That's close. Pulls to half a car length away through 1. And Michael Davis has company. Here comes Kent McCloskey to the rear bumper to turn number 2.
Kent McCloskey is really trying to put the pressure on Michael Davis as they come into turn number 3. And how about Brandon Bell? Really strong run here.
So just getting an update here. It looks like, unfortunately for Michael Davis, he's got a penalty looming. A 3-second jump start penalty for accelerating prior to the start box. So your race leader is trying to outrun a 3-second penalty. And of course, they do not know this on the racetrack here. McCloskey still battling with Brandon Bell, but Michael Davis, a 3-second start box violation right now is going to move him back from the lead back to at least 3rd, and depending how the race plays out even further, it would put him at the moment all the way back to 5th behind Jim Johns. Now we got a lot of time left. It might be able to be outrun, but Eric Bond's putting some good laps together. In fact, Eric Bond last time was quicker than race leader Michael Davis. In fact, he was the fastest on the racetrack. So let's see this time, 32.38 for Davis, 32.32 for Eric Bond. That's not doing your race leader any favors, Michael Davis, to outrun that penalty. He's 4/10 away from at least going to 5th instead of 4th, or instead of 6th.
That's a tough penalty right there to try to overcome. He's got to get some ways to work around it, at least to be on the top 5, but he's got still quite a bit of work to do. And as you see right here, the 2 drivers of Bell and McCloskey are really trying to keep him honest and make sure he does not pull away.
Yeah, they're staying right there on him here. Kent McCloskey wants the lead. He'll look. Just not enough oomph at the end of the straightaway. Pounded the limiter at the last second, so he had to tuck back into line. But Brandon Bell, again, started 2nd, has faded to 3rd, and hasn't done anything since. Just rode in that 3rd spot the majority of this race so far. So for Michael Davis, again, he's trying to outrun that penalty. He probably won't for 2nd or 3rd. He probably won't for 4th either. Or at least for 3rd. He might be able to slot into 4th if he can continue to pull away from Jim Johns, who rides in that 5th spot a little ways back. But if they battle it all up front and it backs him up out best, it'll be a 5th place results here for Michael Davis, just beating out Jeff Liberatore. A big bobble there from Brandon Bell. He ramped over that inside curve in turn number 3, and it cost him a ton of time. Talk about 4 to 5 car lengths in one corner.
That could be a big help for him to where he can at least pull away a little bit. Maybe the top 2 can start working together to try to have an opening here. Currently, as they come across the line, it's going to be tight. It's now 8/10 of a second between Bell and your race leader. And as they come around halfway next time by.
Yes, that was a big loss for Brandon Bell to go from right on the bumper of Kent McCloskey to a good ways back in 3rd from McCloskey now. And without them fighting for the lead, he doesn't have much of a shot to get back to him. And again, Kent McCloskey while he doesn't know it, he does not need to pass Michael Davis at the way things stand to win this one. That jump start penalty, unfortunately, will take Michael Davis down the leaderboard, and it will give Kent McCloskey the win. Now, Brandon Bell, I will say that one mistake has turned something loose in him. He just cut the gap in half in a lap and a quarter. So how about that from Brandon Bell? He's right back in the mix of things here. After falling backwards, he's already closed back up to the top 2.
Great drive right here by Brandon Bell as he's trying to hold on and stay within the top 3 and have a shot of at least getting the race win, because if he gets around Kent McCloskey, that could possibly give him the race win.
Yeah, Brandon Bell and Kent McCloskey, the fight for second should be the fight for the race win so long as the penalty stands, which it is official now. Again, it would be up to protest, if anything. So Michael Davis just trying to hang on to maybe third with how much they pulled away from the rest of the pack. I mean, you look at the gaps right now, it's 2.4 seconds to Eric Bond. So for Michael Davis, he only needs 6 more tenths to get out of Bond and go into P3 with that penalty. Only needs about a tenth more to get away from Jim Johns. He's got time to do it. 3.5 minutes left plus 2 laps for Michael Davis to outrun that 3-second jump start violation penalty. He was slower than Jim Johns that time by, though.
It's going to be a tough battle here as he's trying to stay within the way of the podium position as they come out of turn number 3, making the run to the outer loop. It's going to be tight as they work their way through. You see McCloskey holding strong over Bell as they make their way into the second hairpin.
I'm very surprised Brandon Bell hasn't tried a late-breaking move on Kent McCloskey. I mean, he was so much faster when he kind of fell backwards and had to catch back up. And since he's caught back up, he stalled back out again. In fact, he lost time there coming onto the front straightaway. And it's tricky to set the runs up. You got a tight and narrow and twisty racetrack where these guys spend a lot of time off on the clutch engagement number in terms of RPM and slowly power back up. But when you are that much faster, where you can run down the leaders that quickly, I would think you would instantly try to send some late breaking moves to go by, but he hasn't. He's just kind of caught back up and latched onto the train and rode from there here with 2.5 minutes plus 2 laps to go.
He certainly is, and he is definitely going to be one to watch in the closing minutes of the race. Currently right now, we see that Michael Davis is clear of Jim Johns, so he at least could hold on to that 5th position when the penalty is incurred.
Yeah, so that's good news. Again, he won't go too far back. He would go back, again, with Jim Johns outside that window. It would drop him to 4th, 5th for Jim Johns, but Eric Bond still 3 tenths to the good to be inside that 3-second window of the race leader, Michael Davis. And again, we're not accounting for any battling on the final few laps. If there are any, then that changes things. But right now, he's 2 tenths now as he pulls another 1.5 tenths on Eric Bond. That would put him 3rd instead of 4th. So as they run, Kent McCloskey would get awarded the win. Brandon Bell 2nd, Eric Bond just barely 3rd, and Michael Davis would drop back to 4th with that 3-second early acceleration penalty, getting on the power before the start box. Still got time left though, minute 20 plus 2 to go now.
Here they come down the back straightaway right here, and it is clear. We could see Davis holding on to that 3rd step of the podium now, as he's 3.2 seconds ahead of your leader, or ahead of Eric Bond, I should say.
Yeah, 3.2 ahead. So that's good. That puts him 3rd now, like you said. So now we're in that safe zone for Michael Davis. You just got to stay there. Again, if these guys make a charge at him, then all of a sudden you'll lose a lot of time in the battle, and he could be within 3 seconds of 4th and 5th. But for the moment, things looking good as we get to the final minute plus 2 laps. Big run for Kent McCloskey. Again, he's just got to keep Brandon Bell at bay as they go down to turn number 2.
Heading out of turn 2, you see a big run coming by Kent McCloskey as he tries to show the nose. Bell really just trying to be patient here. He knows he has at least 3 more laps to try and make this work as they work their way out of the outer loop heading to the second hairpin. Yeah, Brandon Bell close there. You see Michael Davis just taking his time before he opens up for the corner. He's waiting on it to the last second to try and take away that idea, that thought of opportunity for Kent McCloskey to send it on the inside. And Kent hasn't made any moves. Brandon Bell's not made any moves. They've just been right there, just lurking, waiting on a mistake that has not happened, and it may never come. This time by, it'll be 2 laps to go, just 2 more laps around. It'll be a 21 lap total feature, and Michael Davis has not put a wheel wrong since getting out of that start box, but that start box penalty will take that win away.
and he'll be the first to cross the line, but he won't be the first one, at least on top of the box later this afternoon. Across the stripe again here in Group 5, Michael Davis, Kent McCloskey, Brandon Bell. 3.4 seconds out from Eric Vaughn as well. If they do shuffle for the lead at all, Eric Vaughn could get there. As a mistake made by Brandon Bell. He slides wide in 3, loses some time. Kent McCloskey still second. To the white flag we go, this time by.
Heading down into the second hairpin, McCloskey tries to hold on, but is still able not to find his opening to get around Michael Davis as they come out of turn number 1. White flag in the air. They're making the run down the back straightaway into turn number 2. Could we see a late charge by Brandon Bell?
He would need to make that move early in the lap here. He's close to McCloskey, but he just couldn't get the drive out of 3. McCloskey, big run on Michael Davis, but again, he doesn't need to go by. I don't know, again, if he's going to try it anyway. Headed to 6. Davis, normal line, nothing. Michael Davis will cross the line first. With the penalties, give the win to Kent McCloskey in 2:06 Masters. Brandon Bell will end in 3rd. 4th to Eric Vaughn. 5th to Jim John. 6th, Jeff Liberator. Again, Michael Davis, P3. Brandon Bell, P2. Kent McCloskey will get the win. Unfortunate for Michael Davis is he'll get the bad news when he gets into the scale line of that jump start penalty. But 5 in the books. Still 4 races to go. Next up, it's the Rotax 125 Max main event.
Candy? I don't have any at all. Sorry.
In a race yesterday that saw a lot of attrition in Rotax Senior Max, that with Henry Wheeler getting the shortened checkered flag, Ian Quinn will get to lead him to green here in today's main event. Wheeler on the outside, Buscalia on the inside. Lauren Getz will start on the outside of row 2. She is the top qualifier in the Tag 125 senior class, and we go side by side for second. Buscalia quickly gets through on Henry Wheeler, and Quinn covering off the inside through 3. They'll rocket down the backstretch, short shoot to turn number 5.
It's Quinn, Buscalia, and Wheeler, your top 3 as they make the run down the short chute to the second hairpin. Wheeler to the inside of Buscalia. He'll take the second spot away.
Quick and decisive from Henry Wheeler on that Steel Motorsports Bureau Art machine. And down the back we go. Ian Quinn still leads over to turn number 2, but Henry Wheeler makes up for the start, lost second, gets it back at the end of lap 1. And we are back on time, back to the full distance races. 12 minutes plus 2 laps here for Rotax Senior Max. Ian Quinn leading them out of turn number 5.
Ian Quinn with a really good run here as he's trying to go 2 for 2 here today, as he picked up the win earlier in the Peloton 225 machine as they work their way out of turn number 1. But Henry Wheeler is closing very quickly.
Yeah, talk about a quick turnaround from the scale line and then a shortened main event for 206 Masters, so then turn around, get the cart up to grid, and get back in to a completely different power plant. You go from a 12 horsepower Tillotson senior machine to a 28 horsepower Rotax 125 Max engine. That's a big change, and a chassis change on the Tillotson T4 chassis based off the Praga factory go-karts over to the Bureau Art machines. Totally different setup for Ian Quinn to have to drive. He's doing a good job as they go out of turn number 3. The lap time's pretty stable for the top 3 between himself, Henry Wheeler, and Chase Buscaglia, 3rd overall.
Keeping an eye on these 3 as they work their way out of the outer loop. You see Wheeler trying to find a little bit of extra speed to go and have a shot at Ian Quinn, but Quinn's being smooth and consistent. A little bit of a bounce as he comes out of that switchback, but will continue to pull away. 3 kart lanes separate the first 2 drivers.
Let's look at lap times here as they are settling in. Ian Quinn, a 28.69. Henry Wheeler, 28.63. So half a tenth as he's off. Ian Quinn goes off in turn 3. Quinn, a broken right front, goes off into the tire wall, out of the lead.
And with that will take him out of the race here. So now the question is, will we see the others start dropping like flies?
Well, we saw this yesterday. Does it happen again today? Henry Wheeler now with the lead, and the right front tire came clean off for Ian Quinn as he holds it there on the side and watches Henry Wheeler inherit the lead in this Rotax Senior Max main event. Chase Buscaglia now 2nd as they exit turn number 5.
And I will say, I have not seen Getz either out on the track, so we're down to 2 karts left on the circuit.
Yeah, already problems for Lauren Getz. She pulled it behind the wall, so it's just Chase Buscaglia now and Henry Wheeler left in this main event here with 9 minutes plus 2 laps to go. This one going to get shortened a little bit here. We'll shave 2 minutes off the clock, so it'll be a 10-minute main plus 2 laps instead of 12. We'll give the laps here as Henry Wheeler continues to pound laps around the circuit at Thompson Kart Raceway with Chase Buscaglia continuing to ride behind him here in Rotax 125 Max. On the grid, it's Miami Mini 60 along with KA100 Junior and KA100 Senior to follow for the 3 final classes here this afternoon of racing action for the Ohio Sprint Series from Thompson Kart Raceway. And again, while unfortunately not the best day for Ian Quinn, he's making the most of it because guess what? While Henry Wheeler's leading, Ian Quinn's learning a new trade. He's got his helmet off and he was just taking a couple looks over there at the camera. Wanted to get behind it and see, hey, how do you work one of these things? Well, there you go, chatting, and good to see Ian Quinn in good spirits after what was an unfortunate ending to the day with that right front tire coming off. Smile on his face as he continues to help us out and show Henry Wheeler making his way around while Chase Buscaglia chases him in 2nd here in 125 Senior Rotax.
And as he works his way out of the switchback, white flag in the air for the Burrell Art Machine of Henry Wheeler and Chase Buscaglia as they are working their way through. Of course, for Henry Wheeler, he will take the Rotax Senior win. And for Chase Buscaglia, he will take the Rotax Junior win. Of course, for Getz, she will take the TAC Senior win. And unfortunately for Ian Quinn, he will not get the result he was hoping for. But as we watch Henry Wheeler work his way into the final hairpin and switchback for the final time of the day, Henry Wheeler will win overall in your Rotax Junior, Senior, and TAG Senior event, as he will pick up the Rotax Senior win, and then Chase Buscaglia will come home in the Rotax Junior win. And with that, we now get ready for our final three final events for the day. Mini CCs next out on the grid.
Push it!
It's funny as hell when he grabbed the camera. They were yelling in my ear, "Go back to him on the camera." I caught him on the camera. That kid's hilarious. I love him.
Hey, Chris.
Getting set to go green in Miami 60cc Mini, group number 7. Cole Vetter on the inside, Nicholas Lessiter on the outside. Logan McCloskey, Anna McCrone, Remy Boss, your field, and we go green down to turn number 2, and they'll quickly cycle into where they started. Good start for the outside lane. Nicholas Lessiter gets down to the inside there in second. Logan McCloskey third. Anna McCrone slots to fourth as they go back to turn number 5. We'll see if Remy Boss can make his way through what's been a troublesome corner for him. He will at the back of the frame, and Cole Vetter on the comp cart, little bit wide there through turn number 6 and 7, and that brings Nicholas Lessiter closer. Again, that was the deal mainly in that pre-final. Nicholas Lessiter kept it a little bit tighter in turn number 6. It would keep him closer, while Cole Vetter would sometimes go a little bit wide, and it would hurt him time-wise.
Yeah, Cole Vetter is definitely starting to struggle just a little bit here. Lessiter really showcasing a lot of speed here in the finals, but I think Cole's now going to start settling into his rhythm and then slowly start to pull away just a tick.
Yeah, it's just right here. This has been the trouble corner. Again, a little too deep, a little bit wide for Cole. Nicholas Lessiter wide there. A little tram line violation, unfortunately, coming in for Nicholas Lessiter on the Charles Leclerc cart in the 117. That's a 3-second penalty. And if all things stand as they run, that would bump him down to 4th as Anna McCrone and Logan McCloskey are within a 3-second window of the kid in second. So unfortunate for Nicholas Lessiter, but a tram line violation for the Charles Leclerc cart running second is a 3-second detriment for him here on the end results. It's good news for Cole Vetter. He'll get a much easier cruise to the finish here as the field comes to the comes to the start line for another lap complete.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough call right here, so he's got a lot of work to do to try and see if he can hold on and maintain a 3-second lead over maybe trying to get ahead of Anna McCrone. So we'll have to wait and see as this race progresses.
Yeah, he's got to build that gap, outrun that penalty as it's known commonly throughout the paddock. For Logan McCloskey, half a car back from Nicholas Lessiter through turn 6 and 7. Car length difference between them, and 2 minutes already notched off the board. So that's good news for Lessiter in terms of trying to run that one out. He still needs to try and pull away from Logan McCloskey, but how about this for the kid in the blue and black nitro kart? Logan hanging a little bit closer to the top 2 than what he did in the pre-final. A much stronger start to this main event for the 102. Our 206 Sportsman winner, running third, will be promoted to second based on the penalty, but I'm sure he'd like to get it on the racetrack for that extra bit of excitement and feeling. As we go out of turn number 1, a car length between him and Nicholas Lessiter. That's the closest thing to a battle we've got right now, because Cole Vetter is just starting to edge away out in the lead.
He is starting to pull away, and really a good run right there from Mikulski as he gets a good run out of the hairpin, trying to set himself up for the run over towards the outer loop, and there's Cole Vetter. Mikulski gets a good run. He's going to try to look to the inside, not close enough to make anything happen.
No, it needs to be a lot closer. He's still about a car length away. Kind of pinched the corner in 6, but he got a good run out of 7. He'll be on the bumper down the long start line straight. Half a car back through turn number 2. A little bit wide, a little bit too fast as he slides up the racetrack there in the banked corner. And Anna McCrone closing back in. She had a spin at the start of the pre-final, and that's what took her out of contention there. She's a lot closer now as she closes up in 4th, looking for maybe 3rd, and that could be 2nd overall for Anna McCrone in the McCrone Motorsports 125 comp cart. So she's coming back into the picture, holding even there. It's 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, while the leader, Cole Vetter, about to catch lap traffic in the form of Remy Boss.
Yeah, Remy Boss about to be put a lap down for the first time here today, and that will be close call right there as we watch Nicholas Lessiter trying to pull away from Mikulski as they work their way around Remy Boss and work out of the outer loop.
Yeah, so Logan McCloskey's now trapped behind Remy Boss. Anna McCrone right there. They both are trying to get their way around the number 8. Good over-under from Anna. Got a little bit bogged down in the process. That'll hurt everyone and spread them out further as they try to close back up together. Anna back to McCloskey. Good news for Nicholas Lessiter. That gap is the biggest it's been all race long as he tries to outrun that 3-second penalty. Maybe hold on to 3rd, as you mentioned, with Anna McCrone falling outside that 3-second window.
Yeah, this is going to be now the fight for 3rd position to see if Lessiter can hold that position and start to pull a 3-second gap over the rest of his competitors as he's trying to hunt down still Cole Vetter, who has already checked out by quite a ways, almost half a straightaway between him and Lessiter.
Yeah, I mean, he has done a fantastic start to this main. We're right around halfway. 5 minutes in, 7 minutes plus 2 laps to go, and Cole Vetter showing no signs of slowing down. This is second on track right now on Nicholas Lessiter. He's got that looming 3-second tramline violation penalty hanging over his head at the moment. And as we watch them work to put another lap in the books and cross the timing loop, how does it shake out? Well, it's 1.8 back for Nicholas Lessiter, and to go back, it's exactly 2 seconds to Anna McCrone. He needs to pull away another full second. He was only 1/10 better that time. It'd be borderline if he'd be able to get all the way away from Anna McCrone to slot into third. Anna was doing such a good job there at the start, catching the lap traffic, and Remy Boss kind of threw her off. But how about this from Logan McCloskey? I mean, he has really picked up. He was even to Cole Vetter on speed that time by. He was 2/10 better than Lessiter the time before, 1/10 better that time. He's pulled back up here to try and get maybe second on the racetrack and not have to lean on that penalty to get promoted up a spot.
Yeah, he's going to try to bide his time a little bit as they work their way down to the short chute over towards the outer loop. Lessiter has a good run to the inside as we are approaching halfway this time by for your race leaders.
Yeah, 6 in, 6 to go, plus 2 laps here as we're counting down the closing moments of this IAME Mini 60cc main event. The IAME 100cc junior class is on deck. Your IAME 100cc seniors will be last out, and that one should be interesting based on what the drivers are looking to do for the starting grid lineup. What an intense pre-final it was with Harbier Doss starting tail end of the field, getting the lead and the win with 2 corners to go. It was so fun to watch him carve up through the field. Great battling between himself and Matt Darlison, and we're going to watch them all go after it here in about 2 more races. This one and the IAME 100cc Junior that's currently up next. Out in the lead, the still Cole Vetter, 2 1/4 seconds, 5 minutes plus 2 laps to go. Nicholas Lessiter versus Logan McCloskey for P2.
Working out of the first hairpin, they'll get the run that he needs, and Mikulski will try to get a good run, but still nowhere near to close the gap. He is still comfortable in the second position for the time being. Watching the gap between Lessiter and Anna McCrone, it's going to be pretty close. Currently, just about 1.6 seconds separates them, and as they come across the line here, we'll see what the gap is between Lessiter and Anna McCrone. And as they work their way around, it is quite a big gap now, 8 seconds back. So right now, Lessiter is comfortable in the third position.
Yeah, I think Anna might have had a spin on that lap. She lost about 7 seconds, so unfortunate for Anna. That'll, again, like you said, keep Nicholas Lessiter inside the top 3. Now they got to navigate the lap traffic of Remy Boss again. Here they go around the outside, McCloskey on the inside. This time, McCloskey, I don't think lost as much as he did before getting through the lap traffic, but still lost a little bit. 8 minutes down, 4 minutes plus 2 laps to go. Lap times at the line. Cole Vetter slowed down, by the way, as well. A 31.54 for him. That's 6/10 off his best lap at a 30.9. Nicholas Lessiter was a 1/10 and a half better. Logan McCloskey was even a 1/10 better than that. So second and third, they're still 2 seconds away, but Cole Vetter slow that time getting through Remy Boss. Picks up a little bit that time to a 31.3, but even then, Lessiter and McCloskey still faster. Pulling now down to within 2 seconds from P1 to P2.
They get a little interesting towards the end of the race. Could possibly a little bit of issues in the change of the race for Cole Vetter come into play. We're going to find out. 3.5 plus 2 laps left to go here as they come out of the outer loop. Making the run. There you see Vetter. There you saw the gap between your race leader and second and third as they head out of the switchback here. Lessiter trying to see if he can find a little extra pace to go and hunt down your race leader.
Yeah, it just needs a little bit more. That time, not a great exit for Lessiter. Great exit for Logan McCloskey. He holds the fast time of the session, a 30.88, best lap overall, held by the kid in third. And he's right there on Nicholas Lessiter. Just needs to kind of keep the momentum up to get to the inside on a longer straightaway. I don't know if he's got it into 6. I mean, he's been close. He's been learning a lot this weekend, putting a lot of laps in here at Thompson Kart Raceway. Double duty. It's a long weekend. It's heated up here this afternoon. Highs about 77 degrees and not nearly as much of a breeze as we saw yesterday. So pushing himself energy-wise to run the full distance of these nearly 30-lap main events in 206 Sportsman and IAME 60cc Mini. He'll sleep good tonight. That time, though, not a good exit for Logan McCloskey. The gap doubles back up to 3 car lengths to Nicholas Lessiter.
Keeping the run up. Lessiter is just running smooth, consistent lines here, but Mikulski has had a good run here and has shown consistent and improving pace all race long. Still the fastest driver out on the track last time by.
Yeah, Logan McCloskey, Klosky, they're headed in third behind Nicholas Lessiter, 2 car lengths between them. Still again, a little slide there coming out of 3, just pinches the exit off, and that hurts that run down the backstretch, but it wasn't as bad as the lap before. It'll pull him close. So Logan McCloskey there in third. Nicholas Lessiter still second. Close now, down to half a car length as Lessiter makes a little mistake. Here comes Logan with 1.5 minutes plus 2 laps to go. He almost blends in behind him as he follows him down to turn number 2.
He's got a good run. He tries to go around the outside to see if he can get to the inside heading into turn 3. Not going to work this time. A little bit off exit. He had trouble and now loses about 2 kart lengths on Lessiter.
Yeah, lost some time there. McCloskey pulls even outside of the back hairpin. Just can't get enough of a run to pull back up to him. He had that one mistake. That might have been the only one. This one still close, about a half car back. Won't be enough for anything by the end of the backstretch, I don't think. He'll pull up to him and then just kind of ride there. Is a big wiggle there. Big save from Nicholas Lessiter. He had full opposite lock there for a split second going into turn number 2. Rear end starting to step out on that Charles Leclerc car just a touch with all the speed he was carrying into that banked corner at the end of the long straightaway.
He certainly is, but here comes McCloskey as they go side by side. Now Lessiter, though, gets the advantage as they come out of the corner.
Yeah, look at Lessiter sideways. Look at McCloskey to the bumper. Little love tap across the loop here. This is basically 4 to go. 30 seconds plus 2 laps, might be 3. We're watching them go through the banked corner. They've got Remy Boss up the road. That's lap traffic, so don't pay too much attention to that helmet at the bottom of the frame. Lessiter. Oh, no!
Chain.
Nicholas Lessiter. Potentially a chain failure for Nicholas Lessiter. You can see maybe that's it on the bottom right corner on the ground, or he's looking over on the brake side as if something locked the brakes up. But Nicholas Lessiter, unfortunate, out of second. He did have that 3-second penalty coming, but it would have only pushed him to third. Now he'll drop all the way to the rear of the field. Meanwhile, Cole Vetter on the 110 comp cart coming around this time by. He'll put another lap in the books here. The timer's hit 0. So Cole Vetter, a clean run that hasn't gotten a lot of TV time, will make up for it now for the awesome performance.
Cole Vetter definitely is about to show some dominance this season. Looking forward to seeing what he can accomplish here in the Ohio Sprint Series as he will look to sweep the weekend here in Thompson as they come out of turn number 3. He's still got a couple of more to go as he works his way towards the back half of the course.
Yeah, Cole Vetter this time by will come to see the white flag. 1 lap to go for the 110 comp cart of Cole Vetter. Over to 6 and 7. It's just 1 lap around Thompson Kart Raceway. Just another 30 seconds or so for Cole Vetter to close out the weekend. Logan McCloskey will end up in second. Anna McCrone will end up in third. Nicholas Lessiter with the DNF should still end up 4th over Remy Boss in 5th. But for the final time, out of 4, down the outer loop to close out a great performance, a perfect performance on the weekend. He knows it. Cole Vetter pumping the fist. He is going to win and sweep it all in Miami 60cc Mini.
Great drive for the comp cart driver as he sees the friends and family giving him the big thumbs up as he wins your Miami 60cc Mini category.
What's wrong with it, Tucker?
gonna swing around to this cart retrieval.
Just drive off. I think he spun out and then just curved me. Over it. When I asked what happened, he said my driver.
I don't think that was it at all. Something broke.
Then he just, when I turned around, he was just sitting there. Two of them, I think he just kind of spun it off. And, okay. All right, Chris. Cool, thanks. No problem.
I definitely think something broke on it. Something broke, yeah.
It's just weird. I mean, just more or less.
Yeah. Yeah, it was weird.
The other guy who's racing with the jet pack. So that's why I pulled Remy off, because I didn't want to affect their race, and then he goes and throws himself off.
Yeah.
I don't know if let Remy out, but. Track is clear. Fucking clear.
A dominant performance earlier today for James Stropko in the 877 green and white Tony Kart in this IME 100cc Junior pre-final. He put 15 seconds on the field in a 6 minutes plus 2 laps heat race. Almost came up and lapped the entire grid. He has a much bigger chance of that happening here in the main event. Here we go through the tram lines and the box and green down to turn number 1. Great start for Jack Haydu on the outside in that red and black red speed. Then here comes the Felber brothers to the inside. Oh man, side by side, Roman Felber making it happen there for second. Side by side, back for fourth. Look at Lucas Grusella to the inside. He'll get through there on the Macron Motorsports Ricardo Kart, I believe, to fourth. Haydu falls all the way back to fifth. And man, oh man, of things shaking up here. Side by side back, Haydu through turn 1. They're nearly off the racetrack, but a good job by everyone to keep it all on the paved stuff.
How about biggest mover of the race, Gabe Holan, from 6th to 3rd after all of that. Lucas Grusella, like you pointed out, is now inside the 4th position. Gives a big shot right there, though, as Jack Haydu will give him a push as they come out of turn 3, heading over to the outer loop.
What a turnaround for Gabe Holan there to move up into 3rd, and he's pulled away. It's Grusella, followed by Haydu, followed by Roman Felber on the white out comp car. James Stropko can already breaking away by a big margin. That's over half the front straightaway as Cash Felber runs second again. Gabe Holan in 3rd, Grusella 4th, 5th, Jack Haydu 6th, Roman Felber as they head down the backstretch.
Watching on as they go a little further back there, you see Stropka is coming over here as they head towards the second hairpin, but for Cash Felber and Gabe Holan, Holan really having a good run here as gets a little bit too wide off corner exit.
Yeah, pushed to too soon right there. A little bit of commentator's curse for Gabe Holan, unfortunately, but still a good run in the works for the kid in 3rd. I mean, he's put some good laps together, even a little bit sliding wide for Cash Felber in turn number 2. So Gabe Holan, I mean, he's not done. He's charging to try and catch up there to Cash Felber to get to 2nd as the field heads towards the inner turn 6 and 7 section of the racetrack. 2 minutes complete, 10 minutes plus 2 laps to go in IME 100cc Junior. IME 100cc Senior will be next up after this one to close out the afternoon here from Thompson Kart Raceway for the Ohio Sprint Series. And again, on the screen, 2nd and 3rd battle for the 2nd and 3rd, the middle of the podium. And the top 5 all getting some hardware here at this one. Cash Felber there in the all-white comp cart And behind him in the red and white Beer Lard, Gabe Holen there on the 851. Here's back to 4th, 5th, and 6th. Jack Haydu still has Roman Felber trying to get around him for P5, trailing Lucas Grusella in the 4th position. A big turnaround for Grusella. We'll see if it can hold as we're just a quarter of the way through into this main event.
Yeah, Jack Haydu and Roman Felber are battling for that last step at the podium here as they work their way through. We're watching Cash and Gabe Holen. Now Roman Felber, of course, is that last driver trying to get onto the podium. But here they come now. His brother Cash gets a good run through the second hairpin, out of the switchback, and continues on as Grusella starting to pull away from Jack Haydu.
Yeah, Lucas Grusella even further. Let's look at the lap times. Grusella 30.16, Haydu a 30.3, and Roman Felber a 30.5. So Grusella 0.2 better than Jack Haydu, although this time Haydu a little better through that opening section. But he pulled 0.2 on in the lap before. That was good. Up front, Gabe Holen picked up 0.3 on Cash Felber. So while it does change a little bit lap to lap on consistency or inconsistency of the drivers, really, good stuff to see Lucas Grusella there again. Let's see the times this time. Jack Haydu was pushing. You could see that. He picked up 0.2 on Grusella, but lost so much with a big bobble there. You saw him have to counter steer coming out of turn 7, and that front end kind of hopped on him, and from there, it was that long run down the start line straightaway that he had to pay for that mistake. So it all comes down to how good you get through 6 and really using this corner, turn 6, to set up for turn 7. From there on, you're full throttle, pedal to the floor, all the way down to turn number 2.
Good run right here for the drivers as they come out of turn number 1. Grusella starting to pull away further. Haydu, though, under immense pressure from Roman Felbers as they come out of turn 2. Haydu sends it in deep to try to close the gap. Gets a good run off turn number 3.
Yeah, closing in. Lucas Grusella, car length back to Jack Haydu right there. Not close enough to really do too much through the right-left. And they'll come back onto the front straightaway. Look at this, Roman Felber right there inside, trying to get alongside there side by side for P5 to turn number 2. Roman on the inside. Then Haydu on the outside. Roman Felber completes the pass. He'll take over 5th. Jack Haydu back to 6th there on the black, red, and gray Red Speed machine.
Tough break right there for Haydu, but he does have enough time to try to see if he can make some things work as Grusella starting to pull away further while these two battle for the final step of the podium.
Yeah, that helped him get a little bit further away. James Tropko, by the way, is already 10 seconds up the road from everybody else. Cash Felber 2nd, Gabe Holen is 3rd. They've kind of separated a little bit. Cash has pulled away from Gabe just a smidge here, maybe a couple tenths a lap. It's added up to about 1.5 seconds between the pair of them. This is the tightest battle on the racetrack for 5th. Lucas Grusella still 4th there in the 899. Look at this. Roman even going a little low to defend from Jack Haydu to hold on to the spot. Jack applying a lot of pressure and making it where Roman's feeling the heat as they come down the start line straight, halfway in, halfway home. 6 down, 6 to go, plus 2 laps in this main.
Keep an eye on this battle for the 5th spot here as Haydu tries to find the opening, not able to do so. As we see here, the driver Roman Felber being very smart and defensive to try and keep Haydu behind as Grusella starts to pull away further. There you see him on screen. He's actually starting to close in a little bit on Gabe Holen.
Yeah, Lucas Grusella that time, 0.2 better than Gabe Holen. Now he's got a long way to get there, 2.5 seconds before he'll arrive to Gabe Holen's rear bumper for 3rd. But Roman Felber, Jack Haydu, that's where our eyes are on right now, and unbeknownst to them, with how fast James Tropko is going at the moment, he's only 10 seconds back from putting them a lap down. That's very realistic to believe that could happen because it is still 5.5 minutes plus 2 laps to go. It'll be, in total, again, a 20-plus lapper, and we're only 13 complete. So James Tropko trying to do the same as what we saw a couple of times yesterday with the leader lapping up and into the podium.
Yeah, Stropko is just now coming to the line, and of course for Felbers and Haydu, they're just now entering turn 3, so that is a big possibility for Stropko to come and lap up inside the podiums.
Yeah, I mean, little mistake there from Grusella coming out of the hairpin. Looked like maybe Lucas Grusella might have dropped a tire. He was making all that progress on Gabe Holen, and then that time by lost a little bit, maybe not as much as I thought there, only about 1/10, so maybe just a rougher exit, but not a crazy rough one for Lucas Grusella. A 30.2 for him, a 30.1 for Roman Felber. Jack Haydu picked up the pace to a 29.9. Still only driver in the 28-second bracket is James Stropko, your race leader on that green and white Tony kart. He's over a second faster than everybody, including everyone there you're seeing in the screen. Grusella in 4th, Roman Felber in 5th, and then of course in 6th there on that red and black red speed, it is Jack Haydu. All these guys there at the back of the screen, almost getting onto the start line straight as they exit it into turn number 2. He is the overall leader, and James Stropko, he's put 16 laps completed so far in the 8 minutes elapsed.
How about this? Haydu try to get a little bit of a tap of the bumper right there to Felbers as they come out of the outer loop. There you see Grusella continuing on his way. And now we go further back to that battle for P5 as they come out of the switchback across the start-finish line. I think Haydu has enough. He just got to time it right to get to the inside.
Yeah, he's, been quicker. I mean, Jack Haydu, at one point again, was a top 3 contender in this class. He's now fighting for the last spot on the lead lap and the last spot on the racetrack there in 5th. So we know Jack Haydu's had speed, even on this alternate layout that we're running today. Maybe not as much as yesterday in that Pro Kart Concepts red speed, but Jack Haydu definitely could be a little quicker than Roman Felber. Roman's also had some speed. I mean, he was inside the top 3 a bit yesterday, so we'll see what another lap brings us here. Lap time-wise, pretty even. 30 flats for the pair of them. Jack, just like you said, can't get that run on exit. In his case, it looks like the kart's just kind of bouncing a bit in the center and sliding, almost a push-loose effect there with the input. Then his hands start to get really busy as they come out of the corner. So it hurts that putting the power down. And again, every shot we see of these 3 with Lucas Grusella backing up to them a little bit, that leader, James Stropko, gets closer and closer into view. 2.5 minutes plus 2 laps to go now.
They were on the same straightaway just briefly, so we are now seeing this come into play as they're coming off turn 3. We are seeing the race leader, James Stropko, coming out of the turn 2. So now as they work their way through, it is going to be dicey to see how quickly Stropko can get around the lap traffic and how willingly the lap cars are going to be.
Yeah, I mean, you would think, again, they would all want to give way. At the same time, you can understand that they may look at it and say, well, I'm in my own race. He's got a big gap. I don't need to, I don't want to move all the way to the outside of the racetrack, get my tires dirty, give up more time than the guy in front of me might give. Look at this here. Speaking of giving up time, Lucas Grusella has faded in the final few laps of this one. With 2 minutes plus 2 laps to go, a late charge from Roman Felber on that comp kart is now bringing him closer to 4th and further away as well from Jack Haydu. He's all the way to the bumper of Grusella as they come onto the start line straight away.
Here comes Felbers. He may look to the inside in turn number 2. Not quite enough yet as they come through. Heading over crossover move. He's going to try it in turn number 3. Give a little tap of the bumper, and as they do so, he's not going to make the pass complete.
Yeah, anytime you get into the bumper in the center of the corner, a tap there just kind of ricochets you backwards. So it didn't help Roman Felber there. Jack Haydu still there. Again, closer and closer looming is James Stropko. Another lap in the books. We're now in total 21 completed, 22 now for Stropko. There he is. It almost looks like a 4-car pack with Stropko catching up to them. The blue flag's starting to come out now, and kudos to Jack Haydu. He quickly is trying to give way to the race leader. These two are focused on their own battle for 4th up the road. Grusella versus Felber. And it'll go down to the wire, and Stropko may have to work his way around them as if they were on the lead lap, with now less than a minute left. And look at this, nearly there for Roman Felber.
He tried to make it work as they came into turn 1, but not able to do so here. He loses a little bit of time. He's going to have to try again as they head out of turn number 2. But here comes the leader of Stropko. Will he give way or will he not? He's got to try to find a way to do it quickly.
Here he goes down to the inside. Roman gives way there. He gives up a bit of a gap to Lucas Grusella in the process. Unfortunately, that may be all she wrote for that last charge for 4th, because we're at 20 seconds plus 2 laps to go. Next time by, the 2-to-go signal will fly. Blue flag's in the way for Lucas Grusella as the leader, James Stropko, is coming through. So here comes the 877. He'll close up, not quite close enough out of 3 and 4. Maybe a dive to the inside in 5, nothing there.
Nope, not going to work there for Stropka as they come out of there. He's going to try to point, let them know, hey, take the inside here. Not quite yet as they come out of the switchback. Grusella will get the the race leader, Stropka, will get the 2-to-go signal.
Yeah, I think, I don't know what Lucas Grusella was doing there. He looked like he gave a thumbs up to the blue flags. Now he goes wide there, turn 2, lets him go. and James Stropko gets by again. Not a big deal to wait a bit longer in this case, just because Stropko has such a sizable lead. He's lapped up to third. Won't end up too much further back from Gabe Holland and company by the end. But the white flag will wave. 1 to go. Dominance. There's no other way to describe it. James Stropko has been phenomenal here on this layout for Sunday. The full track using that extra inner loop as he comes out of turn number 3 for the final time. James Stropko, that green and white number 877 Tony Kart with the black helmet, has been all anyone's seen the rear of all day long. Perfect pole in qualifying. Every lap of the pre-final and every lap of the main event, James Stropko wins in KA Junior. Second will go to the way of Cash Felber. Third will go the way of Gabe Holland. Fourth, Lucas Drusella. Fifth, Roman Felber. And sixth, Jack Haydu, as the field cycles its way on by. Final class coming up, Miami 100cc Senior. As we get set for the Miami 100cc Senior main event, well, we've decided to switch things up. Per the driver's choice, a completely inverted grid from the pre-final results will line us up here for the main. It puts Lauren Getz on the pole. Chase Adams on the top card on the outside. Two drivers that DNF'd in the heat race. They'll have fresher tires. Carson Smith and Cody Lindstrom, row 2. The heat race winner, Harbier Doss, on the inside of row 3 alongside Matt Darlison, who was DQ'd for the wrong spark plug. We're green down to turn number 2, and for the inverted race, the main event, 12 minutes plus 2 laps. What does it look like through 3? Cody Lindstrom, a send and a half on the inside, I believe, of Carson Smith, and he gets through as we go to the back. Now, so through goes Harbier Doss and Matt Darlison. Lauren Getz leads into turn 6.
Lauren Getz gets a good run through the corners here as she will lead the opening lap across the line. Second, Carson Smith. Lindstrom, Doss already up to P4 in just 1 lap. So this is going to be exciting as he looks to the inside of his teammate, the 949 of Lindstrom, as they come across the line, and he's now into P3.
Chassis teammates pitted next door to each other, but not officially under the same banner. Cody Lindstrom ends up back to 4th, easily letting Harbier Doss through. He could have shut the door, didn't. Now Doss going to work for second here as the field heads through to complete 2 laps. Carson Smith holding on. Little bit of a bobble for Carson getting on the power. He bogged it down. Give Harbier Doss P2 as they head down the long start straightaway. Cody Lindstrom to the inside for 3rd.
Beautiful pass by Lindstrom to move up to P3 as they work their way through turn number 3. And now it's time to hunt down Lauren Getz as they come down the short chute to the outer loop. About 2 kart lengths separate her and Harbier Doss as they come down towards the second hairpin. Harbier Doss really putting on a good show as to the inside, Matthew Darlison moving up into the 4th position.
Courteous move there by Carson Smith on the top cart to point Matt Darlison by, let him charge forward. So Darlison into 4th, Lindstrom in third. Second is Harbier Doss. Bumper looking, not close enough there. Lauren Getz holds the lead. Little sideways there on the blue and yellow top cart though. Here we go for the lead. Turn 5. Harbier Doss is through, and in a lot shorter time than that pre-final earlier today. Harbier Doss is Rocketech Motorsports Kart Republic. Leads them coming out of the final couple corners.
And with that, he will begin to extend his race lead to about 2 kart lengths down the back straightaway, heading over into turn number 2. Great drive for him as he works his way out of turn number 3. But for Cody Lindstrom, it's going to be his turn to try to see if he can move into P2.
Cody Lindstrom looks a little bit faster, was a little bit faster in previous sessions than Lauren Getz, so he's got a good run closing up to her now as they head to turn 6, and all the while Matt Darlison getting bigger and bigger into frame there in the 4th spot. Remember, he was second for most of the way the battle shook out. Had he not gone off the racetrack with Harbier, he would have ended second in the pre-final. He ended third. Lindstrom P2. So through to turn 3, Lauren Getz, Cody Lindstrom, Matthew Darlison in the battle for second and third.
Watching on as Lindstrom's thinking about going to the inside. Not going to make it work just yet. Still about a kart length behind Lauren Getz as here comes Darlison with a big run in the Praga.
Yeah, Matthew Darlison getting closer and closer. Cody Lindstrom all over Lauren Getz, who gets sideways out of turn 1. Here comes Lindstrom inside and clear for second. Cody Lindstrom to P2. Lauren Getz back to third. Darlison almost close enough for a diver into 3. Didn't do it.
Yeah, he was trying to make it work but could not make it stick, so he's going to have to wait a couple of corners to see if he can try to get a run built up, heading down the straightaway up ahead here, and see if he can try to get into P3.
Good little grouping further back as Carson Smith falling behind Chase Adams. Adams into 5th, Smith back to 6th, but for 4th, Matthew Darlison now becomes the driver we expect to be on the move with the speed he's got. Can he get around Lauren Getz? Can he also track down Cody Lindstrom? Big slide again for Lauren coming out of turn number 3, and through turn 5 we go. It is Cody Lindstrom, Lauren Getz, Matthew Darlison, 2, 3, 4.
Good drive right here by Lauren Getz as she's going to try to keep it on the straight and narrow, but here comes Darlison with a big run in the Praga. You see Getz gives way, lets Darlison go by. She'll drop back to P4.
So now, Matthew Darlison, can you hunt down Cody Lindstrom? The Kart Republic driver was behind him for most of the pre-final up until the off-track excursion with a couple of minutes to go. So in theory, he should be quick enough to get back to that Kart Republic. But as they go through 6 and 7, he's already had to waste, unfortunately, about 5.5 minutes, almost half the race, to get to where he's at now as they come across the start line here. 4.5, completed. Harbier Doss already open to a 2.7-second lead as Matt Darlison charges forward here in third.
Here comes Darlison. He's trying to pick up the pace. He was a little bit faster than Cody Lindstrom, a 28.87 to a 28.9. Meanwhile, Harbier Doss, a 28.6.
Yeah, Harbier Doss just league of his own right now here in IME 100cc Senior. I mean, so blisteringly fast and as well so consistent for a 28.56 on his best. 3 laps later, a 26.860. That's within 400s. That's good stuff from the Rocketech Motorsports Kart Republic driver in Harbier Doss, who is continuing to make a bigger name for himself on the national stage. Cody Lindstrom doing a good job, of course, moving up to senior from junior last season in the Ohio Sprint Series, back then known as the Buckeye Karting Challenge. He now finds himself in a safe spot to start his senior career here in 206 NKA. A couple of respectable top 10 results in the works and looking to be maybe a top 2 result here on Sunday afternoon. Miami 100cc Senior to cap the weekend off on a high. And for Matthew Darlison on the Praga, has never driven a KA100 in race conditions before. He's doing that for the very first time here this weekend. He looks pretty sporty. That time by just about a half-tenth better than Lindstrom. He needs more. He was still only a tenth off of Harbier Doss, but Matthew Darlison trailing by 0.8 of a second. He needs about a tenth a lap to get there before this one comes to a close.
And as they work their way around the circuit, they are approaching the halfway point of the race here. Javier Doss now just about to come across the line. He will get the halfway point signal and continues to stretch out his lead.
5.5 minutes plus 2 laps to go there with more laps put down. 13 down. It'll be around a 25 to 26 lapper, maybe 28 by the end of everything with those bonus 2 laps added on once the timer hit 0. Matthew Darlison, that time 28.7. That was 0.2 better than Lindstrom. Lindstrom at a 28.9, so that was good. In fact, it was Matthew Darlison's personal best of the session. Only faster driver is the race leader, Harbier Doss, at a 28.51 that time. Incrementally, just marginally going faster lap to lap. He's stabilizing at that 28.5, 28.6 flat range right now. Lindstrom, that time, a 28.9. Darlison, another 28.8, another 1/10 lopped off the gap. It's down now to half a second, maybe even just 2 car lengths, although Darlison got in way deep there into turns 5. You saw him working the wheel pretty hard. It cost a lot of momentum now, and he kind of opened the gap back again.
He is, and now it's going to be a little bit of more cat and mouse games here between Lindstrom and Darlison as they head into turn number 2. Darlison gets a good run off corner exit, stays tucked up behind, tries to send it a little bit deeper in turn 3. It's now still down to a 2-kart length advantage for Lindstrom.
You just can't overdrive. It's tempting to do that when you're the chasing driver, to keep pushing your braking markers deeper and deeper. At a certain point, you go in too deep and you blow the corner. You have to wait further to get onto the power, and even in the 100cc class, it's higher horsepower than the 206 karts that Matthew Darlison's used to. It still is about trying to get a better exit than a better entry, so you can't overcook the entry to it. That lap was better, back to where he should be. 28.89 to Lindstrom, a 28.9 or a 29.06. That was a 2/10 gain. It'll be another big gain for him. This battle for second looking to come all the way down to the wire as we're within 4 minutes to go, plus 2 laps here in the final.
Here they come down the long straightaway. It's going to be a close one as they make the run down, heading over into turn number 2, but it's still no changes in that area. Now he closes it up to about half a kart length and stretches back out to a kart as Darlison is now starting to put more pressure on Lindstrom.
Yeah, Lindstrom answering the call. That time picked the pace back up to a 28.9. A little wider for Lindstrom out of turn 5. I don't know if that's better or worse, but he definitely looks to be a little better, I think, coming out of 6 and 7 than Matthew is. You can see from that wide shot there how much further Matthew Darlison starts back to begin the lap as they go through turn number 2. He closes up through 2. Pretty decent through turn number 3, but Lindstrom's just better on backing up that rhythm section that leads them onto the long start line straightaway, and that's kind of the difference right now between the two of them. Darlison a little better on center roll speed, attacking the corner. That pays off in the early parts of the racetrack. This section right here, though, it's all about getting the exit, sacrificing the corner you're in for the next one you're about to get into. And Cody Lindstrom doing a good job at that, and that's keeping Darlison just enough away that he can't pass him in turn 2, but he might be able to get him in 3 or in 5 or maybe into 6 in the coming laps, because he's now down just about a 10th back away from him. He was a 10th quicker last time. Out of 5, Darlison pinches the exit, still a car length away through 6.
He is trying everything he can in order to get up into P2 for this time, but as they work their way out of turn 1, not going to work for him this time. He's trying to get a little bit of a toe, but still you see Lindstrom pulling away.
Yeah, Lindstrom was even, matched him, pulled a half-tenth back away that time by Darlison. Through 3, still even, nothing there, 2 minutes. Plus 2 laps to go. Harbier Doss, by the way, up the road by 5.5 seconds and growing. While these two have not even traded position, they're just running hot laps. That's how much faster that Rocket Tech Motorsports Kart Republic is hauling the mail right now. Make it 5.7 seconds now. Foreign Getz still 4th. Chase Adams 5th. Carson Smith is 6th. In fact, Harbier Doss is approaching potential lap traffic. Oh, no problems with the 944. Carson Smith, he's pulling behind the wall. Mechanical failure late in the going for the top kart driver, so he's done. Unfortunate for Carson. That'll knock him out. Chase Adams inherits 5th. Chase, again, should be far enough out front. He doesn't have to worry about Harbier Doss catching him to put him a lap down. So, again, he just keeps the on-track action right where it's been most of this race. Cody Lindstrom versus Matthew Darlison. Darlison closer than he's been most of it through 2. He just isn't enough to be able to make a late move on the brakes through 3. So he takes the normal line. He's a car length back to 5.
He's going to try again, and here as they come out of the outer loop, maybe set something up into the second hairpin. Not close enough, though. He's got to try to get a little closer, find that little extra off corner exit.
Yeah, not a good run out of 6 and 7 for Darlison that time. In fact, that was one of the slowest laps he's hit most of this race. 29.1 for Matthew Darlison, 29 flat for Lindstrom. Everybody starting to fade in the final few stages of this main event. Less than a minute plus 2 laps to go. Harbier Doss 6 seconds out in front from this battle for second. Lauren Getz there 13 seconds back from the lead, about 7 seconds back from second and third. and about a good 8 seconds away from Chase Adams there, who runs in the 5th spot. 2 to go next time by. 3 laps to go right now for this final battle here for 2nd and 3rd. Matt Darlison from the back followed Lindstrom forward, caught up to him, just hasn't been able to do anything once he's arrived. He's just kind of stabilized there at a 3-car buffer back from P2.
Yeah, tough break for Darlison in that Praga kart, but he is still going to try to push the envelope here. He's got 2 more laps to try to see if he can get up to P2 as they come across the line.
Yeah, 2 more tries for him. Again, at the line. That time it was a 2/10 gap. Darlison right there, just not enough to Lindstrom here with a lap and a half to go in 3. Cody Lindstrom gets such a good launch out of turn number 2, and another good one out of 4. Pulls it way far away. So Cody Lindstrom doing a great job here, looking at 2nd place for the senior rookie. And again, a debut, basically a KA senior rookie in Matthew Darlison behind him. As the white flag waves, though, the focus shifts to the man in the spotlight, who was the man who requested this reverse grid race. He enjoyed it, had some fun for himself going to the rear in the pre-final, did it again here in the main event, and in both times has driven through to the lead and the win. Harbier Das will sweep every official session on the day, and he wins the main event in 100cc senior. And back for 2nd, Lindstrom versus Darlison. We'll watch them come to the line as Harbier Das has a good time. Lauren Getz will come through. Lindstrom 2nd, Darlison 3rd. There goes Lauren Getz for position number 4. And it will end our day for the Ohio Sprint Series. Congratulations, Harbier Das and Rocketech Motorsports, as one more chicken dance for the road here from Thompson Kart Raceway. For all of you here in the paddock with the Ohio Sprint Series, for those of you that have watched along live on Kart Chaser, and for those here that have helped made it possible at Thompson Kart Raceway, for myself, Zana Clements, alongside me, Taylor Burris. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.